Facebook like I usually do. Everyone who's already logged in, big up. Share the link. Get me. Big shout to Novar Flip in the building. Yeah.
I'm in the sky, bro.
Come on, come on. After the boycott, though, do you know what I mean? We had we had a little boycott.
When you posted that picture of me earlier,
yeah,
I didn't even read the I only just read it about half hour ago. I should have cancelled.
Oh, nah, come on, man. You overturned the boycott, innit? Man, overturned the boycott. It was like,
The
shit, we have
boycott's
to
still
get...
standing, but just you gotta turn up sometimes and I mean put a boycott in effect in person.
Yeah, it's been a busy few days, I'm not gonna lie. It's been a busy few days still. So I'm just sharing the link. Sorry. Just sharing the link on yeah, big up to Sam Gregory. He's already locked in.
Yes, you know.
So I'm gonna get to everyone and everything. It's been a bit of a mad day today. For those of you who didn't see, I had to react to some madness, yeah. From my former housemate. He was caught in Bournemouth Town Centre, high on drugs, racially abusing, using racially abusive language, and nearly got it set on him. But he's actually responded, and apparently since Christmas he hasn't drunk, he hasn't took any drugs, and hasn't smoked. He's been totally sober. You know what I mean?
What you said about old video?
Huh?
Is it an old video then?
The video was around Christmas time because his mate was wearing a Santa hat. So it was around Christmas time. The video was, I'd seen it anyway. Obviously I didn't have time.
This is what's wrong with these people. Yeah. Are you running around like spreading the racial abuse around the celebration of Jesus?
No, but this is what I was saying before. You remember when I was having a go at the drug addicts, yeah, and everyone was trying to get onto me and say, "Oh, you're being too harsh," yeah. Like, if you want to be specific, these were specifically the people I was referring to. Do you see what I'm saying? If you want to be very specific, like not necessarily him because he's all right. I get on with him. Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, I still had to cut him off.
Plenty racists.
I still had to cut him off. So it's one of them ones. But.
So you cut him off for his drug abuse, not his racism. His racism was all right.
Well, this way, yeah. It wasn't all right. It was just that with the drugs and the drink, it made everything else pointless. So it's like, what is the point in trying to even educate this person? It was just, do you know what was going to happen? It was getting closer to the point where I'd end up weighing him in. That's all it was. That's all it was going to happen. I was going to end up weighing him in, and I'm not going to sit there and say, he's a big, strong guy as well. Yeah, so I'd have had to weigh him in like I'm like dealing with a wild animal. Do you know what I mean?
Put in some work.
Yeah, you'd have to. Do you know what I mean? It's not even like. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, there was a time where he was in my kitchen. Right, I don't want to even put his business out online like that, but I'm just saying, it's a situation these people put me in. My kids were there, other people's kids were there. Everyone was having the kids' parents were there. He was running around with, I think it was a saw. You understand, and waving it around and making up noise and threatening to attack. We just, you know what I mean? It's nothing like. It was totally the booze that he was under. He's not that sort of person in real life. It's just the booze has sent him into a madman. But even me, I remember I was cooking and I remember he was standing behind me. They were just completely off his head. And I think it was like I was cutting potatoes or peeling potatoes. And I was just sitting there thinking, because like no one else was like taking any action as well. So I was like, this is a bit of a mad situation to put me in. My children are here. This man carries on. I'm going to have no choice but to do what I'm going to have to do in front of everybody. And I'm glad I didn't because, I ended up becoming, pretty good friends with the guy after. But
So for anyone watching this, go and watch the video that Terror Slim put out about this guy, yeah? And him calling someone the N-word on a public high street aggressively. And then come back and let's edit that together with Terror Slim saying I ended up becoming quite a good friend with this guy here. Let me give Terror the credit though for he made a video about it and put it on blast and like addressed it. But he's still here going, oh yeah, you know, he's all right, he's my mate.
No, the bottom line is, before he got himself caught in front of the whole world publicly saying the N-word, I had cut ties with this guy. You understand? I've cut ties with this guy from about 3 years ago. I've cut ties, yeah, blocks. And it weren't because, like I said in the video, I didn't block him because he did or said anything that was so offensive to me that I was like, I can't forgive him. It got to a point where, all right, fair enough, you're right. You know, the racism is something that needs to be addressed, yeah. In this situation, it was the drugs and the drink. Do you understand? It was just, I couldn't take that energy around me. I couldn't have it. So that's
Yeah,
why I
fair
cut
enough.
him off, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of the mad stuff he was coming out with, because I've heard a lot of mad stuff he's come out with, and it's not to say that, you know, he sits there with all these mad views on race, although he definitely comes across as ignorant and uneducated when he does come out with these sorts of things. Yeah, you know, he just say anything to anybody. You understand? You
But
know, there's just some people who just like to rock the boat, and he's
he
one of
says
them
that in
people.
he says that in the video. He goes, that's offensive. And he goes, yeah, I know, exactly. That's why I said it.
Yeah, yeah. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? So that's it.
But he's doubling down, like, yeah, but that's also like, I'm saying that means I'm okay with being racially offensive, like racistly
Mm-hmm.
offensive.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't do that, to be honest, if you're not racist, like your thoughts are not racist. Like if
Well,
you're not, then you just wouldn't. No, no,
I
because
wouldn't say his thoughts aren't. I wouldn't say his
yeah, yeah,
thoughts are
yeah.
not.
But if your thoughts are racist, then you're racist, and your actions are racist. You're a racist, isn't it? He's like an aggressive racist. So at the end of the day, like people say this thing as well. You're not one. I know you're not one to allow people to use alcohol as an excuse to us. So we can't even. Some people go, oh, you know, when people are drunk, their
The
true
truth
thoughts
comes out.
come out. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
even believe that. You know, I've decided I don't believe that.
Okay.
I think it can. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, it can happen. Someone's been thinking something, they don't want to say it, they get drunk, it can come out. But I don't think every person that says something when they're drunk, it's the personality or person they are. Because some people do come someone completely different when they're drunk, someone that they don't want to be. They end up acting in a way they don't want to be, that they
Mm,
wouldn't want to be day to day. And if you study
yeah,
alcoholism and alcoholics and how it works, those people, they don't want to be that person.
of
If they weren't
course.
drinking, they wouldn't want to be that person. They wouldn't want to speak like that. They wouldn't want to say those things. But when you're talking about racism now, things that, you know, even the drunkest person who becomes someone they don't want to be, they're not going to say something racist unless it's in that's them somewhere. Because most people will know in it, they're going to be like, right, I don't want to be a racist. I don't want to be seen as a racist. I think that's wrong. You
Yeah,
got to not think it's wrong.
yeah, yeah. I think with him, yeah, and I'll give him credit for he said that he's not touched anything for a month, right? Because
Yeah,
apparently that video was taken at 8 o'clock in the morning,
mental.
right? So he said he's not done nothing for what would be almost just over a month, right? So
That
not
was the
that
last
long,
day.
huh?
That was the
Yeah.
last day I drove him to
Well,
rehab.
well, pretty much. You must have been, yeah. Um, However, when you're dealing with someone like that, there is so many layers. There's
Mm.
so many layers for us to just sit there and be like, he's a racist. He got drunk. His racism came out. It's a bit more layered
I
with
think his
him.
racism will come out even if he's not drunk in a right situation, but he probably wouldn't be in that same conflict. But at the end of the day, we can go, that person's a racist without that being the end of the statement and the end of the everything. You know, like people go, oh, you call someone a racist, so now they're like, that's it, they're dead, they're cancelled, they're
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. Of
we
course.
we could say it and then go, okay, cool, and then we can also say, oh yeah, he's got alcohol and drug problem. Where does he get some help from? So yeah, where does he get some help from?
Yeah,
So that both of those things can exist. You know what I mean?
it can
But it's like,
exist. But the reason I made the video and I kind of put it on blast is because when he was around me,
mm,
I was offering that, I was offering that kind of help to people. I was, kind of getting people motivated to keep fit and these sorts of things. So,
He was offering a rehab center. He was offering
well,
rehabilitation from. You was on the internet saying, I don't want to say what you
nah,
said. I
well,
think he got your Facebook. I think he got your Facebook banned. What you posted about what should happen to them.
no, that wasn't me who posted that. That was someone else who posted that. He
What
posted "Hang
about
the Addict." He posted "Hang the Addict" on my post, didn't it? That wasn't me who
right?
posted it though. It might have. No, they got
You
him
might have
banned.
shared it. You was like, yes, I strongly agree.
He got him banned.
You
They got
said
him.
I approve this message.
Put it this way, that I didn't put that. I didn't post that message. That's all I'll say. Um, that was a bit after as well. That was a bit. I
Mm.
was a bit after all the madness has gone on, and not to talk people's business because there was a lot of bullshit that went on surrounding that whole farm situation. But mate, yeah, ultimately the drink and the drugs is the main problem. Without the drink and the drugs, even if he was holding these sorts of views in his head, he could have held it down. That ain't the first time. You think
But,
that's, Rob?
but
You
then
think that's the
again,
first?
Tyrell, without the drinking the drugs, you might get organized and be down at a march, or you
Yeah.
might get organized and organize a march. It might be more
So
dangerous.
what? And do you think you'd have to worry about him? Do you think you'd have to worry about him?
I worry
This is what
about
I'm
any of
saying.
them. I worry about
Like,
all of them.
I know that, but like I said, like them man that had in the video, they don't know him in it. They've come down to Bournemouth. They don't know him. As far as they know, yeah, fair enough. A dangerous
Oh, it's
addict in the
Bournemouth
street,
as well, where them lot are from.
basically. Yeah,
One of their mates.
He's from round them sides. He's from round them sides. You know what I mean?
Is he
He's
a
from round
subscriber?
Dorset, huh?
Is he a subscriber? Is he a racist subscriber?
Bro, he's not even. I'll be honest with you, yeah. And this is not to give him a pass, yeah. This is not to give him a pass, yeah. He ain't that deeply. Get me? He's a physical man. Give him a spade. Give him a fucking load of tools. He'll get the job done. He's not your intellect. So he ain't your sitting down watching podcast type of person anyway. He's not your
Neither are most men
conspiracy
who've got a
theory.
podcast.
He's
Most men
not
who've
your.
got a podcast are not that intelligent.
I didn't say they were.
I've realized that this is the era of the dumb people
I'm not.
podcast.
I'm not even claiming to be intelligent. I'm just providing
You're
a
quite
platform.
intelligent. You're intelligent. You're more intelligent than most of them. I've known you
Well,
a
I'm
long
not
time.
claiming it. I'm not
But
claiming to be intelligent. Do
me,
you
you
know what
know,
I mean?
me neither. Me neither. I got a thing like I say because I talk on so much. I've become someone who speaks on social issues, uh, intellectual, academic subjects. But if you watch me on these podcasts speaking on these things, I'll have a few facts and figures that I know and things I've remembered. But really, I'm just talking about it from a street level or just me. I'm saying I often say I'm not a Carla, I'm not Loki because if
Mm.
you hear them man talk about the same thing I'm speaking about, they're gonna really know, like they're gonna really have like studied it, read how many books, and
Well, they would have just been told what to say. Do you know what I
no,
mean?
that's
Let's
not.
have it right. They're just going to be
No,
told
we're
what to
not
say. We
doing
don't have
that.
to get
We're
into
not
it,
doing
but
that.
no, but in the level
No,
they're on,
we're not
they're
gonna
going to
do
be told what
that.
to say. Huh?
We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not
I'm
doing
not
that.
doing it either,
You
but I'm
make
just
that's a big
saying.
accusation. You're
I'm not
claiming.
making
No, let's have it
accusations.
right.
I'm not
Let's have it
making
right. Hold up.
accusations. I'm just saying
Hold
at
up.
the level
Hold up.
they're
Hold up.
on,
Hold up.
level. No,
What?
let's keep it 100 Nova. When you're a public figure, yeah, it's not even a case of what you want to say. You say what
What
you
do you mean
get told to
public?
say, and
All
I'm
right,
not
but
dissing no one.
you're a public figure. I'm a public
Yeah, yeah,
figure.
yeah, yeah. I ain't that kind of public figure. I ain't that
But
kind of public figure.
still
The
a
public
public
know
figure
this.
of sorts. Yeah.
Listen, listen.
Just because they've got more following. Yeah.
It's nothing to do with. It's nothing to do with that.
So no. You just made a claim. So you're telling me that you think. You didn't say
Well,
you
you
think. So I'll
compared
just ask you.
yourself. You compared yourself, right? You said I'm not Loki and a
I'm
Carla,
not
which
looking.
I
I'm
said
not a caller
fair enough.
based on education level, based on being ability
Okay,
to
fair
speak on
enough. Yeah,
facts
that's fair enough. Yeah, that's fair enough.
studies and like they've just more read. They read more. Do you know what I'm saying? I speak on things raggle. Like I'll speak on racism,
You
social issues,
yeah,
misogyny, raggle. I'll do it and I'll be rude. Do you know what I'm saying? Them lot, they're more composed and they got the facts. And I got facts. Don't get me wrong. I got more facts than most people. But them man are like very educated. Okay, I'm educated. I shouldn't like underplay my thing, but I'm
they're
not claiming to
they're
be
well
yes.
read. They're well read in the subjects they choose to tackle.
Now, but let's pull back what you said. So, you're claiming, or you're not claiming,
What?
that Loki and Akala? are told what to say by some powers above them.
Yeah, most likely. Not to diss anybody, but this is how it goes.
Why do you think that?
Why do I think that?
Yeah.
Because most public think. Do you know what it is? I
What do you
won't
mean
even get
public?
into
No,
it.
no, you're
I won't
using
get
the.
into it. Do you know
You
what? I
can't
won't
just.
get
No, no,
into
no,
it.
no. You can't just
You
say
know what it
just
is? I
because
won't
the.
get into it because you
No,
know
no, we've
what
got
it
to get
is.
into it.
You know what it
You
is.
can't just say. You
As,
can't
as
just say
artists,
public
as
figures.
artists, I rate them as artists, innit? I rate these
Yeah,
people as
forget.
artists.
I rate them. I
So,
rate them
so
both.
at the huh?
Yeah, I rate them both
Yeah,
more as speakers than artists, and I rate them as artists, of course.
yeah,
But what
yeah.
they and I
Okay.
think most people now, because of what they've crossed over into, their work has become more about speaking than the music, which is fine.
Look, it's got
So
political. Has it got
I
political
rate
title or not?
them. I
Has it got
think
political title or not?
everybody, yeah, everybody should go and read the Carla's book, Natives. Like everything I've spoke about about race and studied in the last however many years, 10 years I've been doing this on social media and challenging racist people in hip hop and all that kind of stuff. All the stuff that I've learned, all the talking points, on the history of racism, a lot so cool. A lot of it I knew, but I would have my way of saying it. That, like I say, it's just raggle. I've just when I read that book, it's like the best place I'd ever seen it put together in words in one place, like perfectly. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and as far as the British history um, of involvement, it's perfect. The book is perfect. So everybody go and read that, especially
So,
the
so
racist
is
people.
that a book basically talking about the history of the British Empire?
Yeah. It's called Ruins. It's called Natives. Let me just get
I
the
do
full
know.
title.
I am familiar with the book. I just haven't read it
I just want to,
myself.
I want to say because the answer to that question is just in the full title. So let me just read it out so I get it right. Yeah. It's called Race and Class in the Ruins of Empire. Natives, Race and Class in the Ruins of Empire. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there about class as well. British people. It's brilliant. Obviously, I've got like I don't know, I was going to say biased connection to it because he went to my school. I could have a biased connection against it because we didn't get on that well when we were at school, whatever. But so there's stuff in there he talks about.
So what I was back to what I was saying. So you don't believe there's any kind of political sway
I
on
don't
these
think anyone could.
artists?
You think anyone could sway them to? I'll tell you. I'll be say something very honest. Yeah, and I've said this before. And it's about them two specifically, them two more than anyone, but maybe others who we used to call them political rappers. Yeah. So there was a point in 2003. I was doing music, kind of in that kind of vein. Yeah, I was doing anti-war music, uh, the Iraq War was had happened or was happening, and I was working with Peace Not War, to Stop the War Coalition, right?
Yeah,
So the Stop the War Coalition is a huge organization, yeah,
yeah. Me
anti-war
and me and Kev the
organization.
poet spoke about this the other day.
Did you?
Yeah,
So,
we spoke about how ineffective the protesting was.
well, that's not true because the protesting had real impact at that
Yeah,
time.
but the war still happened.
True,
So
true,
the
but
protesting had zero effect, like all protests.
you're just saying in general with the Iraq War.
Yeah.
I think there's significant things that happened with that war that we could look up that did happen due to protesting. But you have a fair point that it still happened.
Yeah.
But anyway, like I was working on that stuff at that time, right? We were street level rappers or whatever, but we always had a positive message and a political message of sorts in our music. Me, Skinny
Hmm.
Man, Task Force, Chester P. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we was always arrest the president, task force. Like we always had something in there that was like that. So 2003, Skinny was in jail for a bit. I started making music. I got asked like to make a song or give a song for the Peace Not War compilation album. It was made by the Stop the War Coalition. Years later, I realized that at that time Jeremy Corbyn was the actual like CEO of the
Mm-mm-mm.
not CEO, that's the wrong word because
He
it's not
was
like
he was
a
up there.
business. Yeah, he was the head of the
Okay.
um manager of the Stop the War Coalition at the time, right? I
Yeah.
didn't really know much about who he was other than I knew of his name as a local MP. But so I made those songs. I did that. I performed at Trafalgar Square at those protests. Yeah, 50,000 people, 100,000 people, some of the biggest like, audiences and crowds I've ever performed to in my life. I now don't know which one I did, was which, because there's a huge one. What was like the biggest protest that's ever happened in England ever. It was in
Didn't
2003, and there's a video of Corbyn giving a speech at it. I
okay.
don't know if I performed at that one.
All
I
right.
think I probably did, but
Yeah.
anyway, my point is, after that, cool, I drifted off. I started. I was just doing my music as normal. Even then, I wasn't rapping like Loki and Carla became too, because even when they started, they weren't, they used to just rap about hip hop stuff and even street stuff or whatever. And then them man went in, and it was after that I feel that them man started making this really political music, and there was a few others.
Yeah, but do you think there's a chance that out because I remember I was
No,
around, yeah. I was around. I didn't get too remember it was the Occupy London, yeah. So
mm.
I was around them sorts of times. So do you think there's a chance that while certain rappers were doing their thing, they could have been approached by
Let me get to that. I just want to tell you my basis to give an honest thing, yeah. Because after that, I was in my I'm the best, that rapper arrogance, yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
So when the man started doing that political music a lot, I wasn't feeling it. I was like, this is all performative, yeah. But that was me. I realized I was like, I don't really believe it, even though I know both of them personally, and I knew both of them personally then. I was just like, what's this changing? Preaching to the converted. I had all these negative reactions and responses to it in my head, and I was like, this is bullshit. Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
I kind of stopped having that message or doing anything like that in my music. It might have been in there somewhere, but I wasn't going to those protest events. I wasn't involving myself in activism. That came back, I looped back around to that when I started doing music less. I kind of maybe was caught up in the streets a little bit and a bit too like caught in madness that just had my brain like somewhere. But what I'm saying, my whole point in all of that is I had a negative thought about them, man, and the music they was doing. And I was questioning what's the point here. And I wasn't ever thinking some wild conspiracy that they've been told what to say or this is all. I just thought these men are like making money out of someone suffering or like it's being capitalized. It's like a marketing, yeah. But then, I still rated them. Don't get me wrong. I still rated them
Mm-mm-mm.
cool. They're doing
Yeah,
anything
yeah, yeah,
good.
yeah.
It's a good thing. But it's just I had these thoughts. I'm just gonna be honest about that was back then, yeah. And then I look at low key, and years later, when he got, he went from strength to strength. He got bigger and bigger. He started getting millions of views. And then, in his height of it all, he said, "I don't want to do this anymore," and he completely walked away.
Mm-hmm.
And I bumped into him a couple times, I think, even in King's Cross when nobody he wasn't on social media. Nobody's even heard from this guy.
Mm-mm-mm.
He's not posting. He doesn't want any attention.
Yeah, yeah,
And I
cool.
saw him in the street, and I'm like, yo, what's going on? What are you doing? You've been missing. And he's like, yeah, I'm studying, man. I'm going to university. And he was on his way to um, SOAS, I believe, or like he's on his way to the uni. And I'm like, I just looked at it and I thought, he's the real deal. Like that made me go, that's someone who's really, 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 and he shouldn't have to do that to prove to me he's the real deal. Yeah. And obviously, don't get me wrong, I always knew these man believe in things they're saying. I just had some kind of negative energy, you know what I'm saying, in the ways I explained. But when I look at a man who's going to go, you're now successful. You could push this career, you can do tour every year, you can kill it. And then to
Yeah.
just say, "Do you know what? My time can be spent better and I can educate myself and I can do other things rather than music." And he walked away for years.
Mm.
And I can't, do you know what I'm saying? How can I look at that and go, oh, like, yeah, he was faking it or he was, you know what
Uh,
I'm saying?
well, you
And
know
then,
what it is, right? You
and then
see,
he came back.
yeah,
Go on.
but you see, like, okay, I don't know, not that I want to get into it because I'm not even bothered about it at all. But you see, like the Epstein files now. So now it's come out. Apparently, I ain't looked into it, but this is what someone's showing me that
Hmm.
Bill Gates apparently got some STDs of some Russian hookers, and he was asking Epstein for some um, antibiotics or something that he could slip in his wife's food, right? So without her knowing, because she's probably got it. Yeah. No, don't get me wrong. Now, don't quote me on this. I don't know how true this is because I don't know how true any of this
No,
Epstein
no
stuff is.
consent, no consent.
Right? Yeah. Right.
Delivery.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how any of this stuff is. Yeah, but that's what's been said at the moment, right?
Where?
So
Where's that been said though?
I don't know. It's I saw it even this afternoon somewhere. I haven't looked into it, so I'm not
No, but
even
I'm
gonna
saying,
go
where
too
did you
deep.
see it?
I
Where was
saw
it?
it on
Who?
the fucking internet where you see everything, bruv. Do
Yeah,
you know
but
what I
what
mean? But
part of the internet posted by who, bro? Was it
oh
in
god, let me
was it
have
in the news? Was it in the Daily Mail? Was it
no,
on
it
the
wasn't.
Unilad?
I can't remember what it was in, bruv. It was
Was
not
it on
it
the
might not even been
Telegraph?
bruv.
Was it
I don't
on
know where it was.
Canary? Or was
Put it
it
this way,
on Rise Above?
I heard about it yesterday. Someone told me about it yesterday. I saw some post about it today. I haven't looked into it. Remember,
No,
I don't
because it might be in there. I'm not saying it's
so
not,
but
but
either way, whether it's true or not, yeah. What I've heard a lot of people were saying, a lot of people's criticism, because don't get me wrong, Akala, Loki are looked at as like the voice of the rebellion. They all, for a long time were looked at as the voice of the rebellion within UK rap,
yeah,
UK hip hop, right? They
yeah,
were looked at that, especially with Loki for the Free Palestine. So
rightly so.
yeah. So it's almost looked at as like any injustice that comes, their man are standing against, yeah.
Mhm.
But a lot of people is questioning there was nothing, or not much against Bill Gates.
Yeah, but here's the difference. That's why I said you've just proven it already in saying that you haven't looked into it and you don't know. You can't speak on something there's no actual evidence of. And most of the stuff people speak
Yeah,
about
but
Bill Gates,
you don't, even if that's not true, yeah, even if that's not true, even still, there's still no, you know what I mean? Whether that's true or
but
not,
I'm saying if you think there's stuff about Bill Gates is true, which I don't doubt, yeah, I don't
I
doubt
don't
it.
know.
It could be, but I don't know that.
Yeah,
I don't know that about Bill Gates. Like what I
this,
know is people love to focus on certain names so much, and it makes me think, you know what, Bill Gates might not have done none of this. Yeah, Bill Gates, and this could be, the people who think bad things about him. I've never looked into him that deep, so I'm not on either thought of it. But I do. All I know is that Bill Gates was a normal guy who made loads of fucking money and created technology that changed the world. He wasn't someone who born into one of these families or systems like even Donald Trump. So most of the people who are targeting these other guys, oh, that's the guy, that's the guy. It's like who look at who's pointing because the people when we're talking about the Epstein files, these Epstein files have been spoken about for how many years?
yeah.
And
I'm
there's
not
a
even going
no, no,
too
no.
deep into the Epstein files, though. I'm more focusing on Bill Gates.
No, but this ties into that though. This ties into that because if you look at the agenda of the Epstein files for how long, yeah, it's been going on, there's a certain amount of names that maybe are involved. I haven't looked into it enough myself currently with all
Mm.
the new stuff that maybe are involved, but they're the only names that we were being pushed. Yeah, the Clintons, obviously,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Clintons, Bill Gates, and it's all people who they see to be kind of on the other side, on another side. I don't want to say the left because none of them people on the left politically, but on a different side to the Republicans. So if there's all this list of names of people who are like enemies or disliked by the Republicans,
yeah, yeah.
and that's the only list we ever see. Why is there no Republicans on this list? And why, now that we see it come out, is the truth coming out that Donald Trump is the name that's throughout it 5 million times, which I've always known, and that's been public information for years. Anyone could have looked up and seen. You can find a picture of Donald Trump. So you can literally find the fact checked, even on one of the fact check
Yeah, yeah.
websites,
No,
proven
I'm not disputing
Donald
that because
Trump's
I'm not
like
disputing that because we know
flight log with his name on it, with his son's name on
we've
it.
gone over this. We know why. We know what this was all about in the first
So
place.
I'm saying, so how can we sit here and go, oh, what about Bill Gates? When I already know that Bill Gates' name has been a scapegoat the entire time for an agenda to cover up things for the Donald Trumps and the Republicans of the
because
world.
Bill Gates got his
So
name attached to the vaccine. Yeah. So
yeah,
regardless
but the vaccine is a different.
whether he done it, whether he went Epstein Island or not, he's still known as Bill the Butcher. You get me? He's Bill the
Vaccine, the
Butcher, whether he
vaccine is a
likes it or
different
not.
conversation because all of them got their name attached to that as well. I
Yeah,
mean,
but mostly
yeah.
him. Like they say Bill Gates vaccine. They don't sit there and say,
Yeah, but I think the people who say that I've not looked at that deeply as well, but I kind of assume the people who say that are the ones who know nothing about what they're talking
but
about
Bill
when it
Gates
comes
was
to
the
the
one who
vaccine and what's
he
actually
was
gone on.
Bill Gates was the one who made himself the face of it. You understand? So he made himself the face of it. So
By
naturally, he's going to be the scapegoat.
what you're saying by like by creating paying for it, funding
He
it,
was
and
talking, making videos, saying
yeah.
fucking, you don't have a choice. Unless that was AI. This is what I'm saying. At the
No,
end of
no,
the
probably.
day,
I know he
and
was
look at
involved. I
Arnold
know he was doing
Schwarzenegger. Look
stuff.
at Arnold Schwarzenegger. Look at him now. He's fucked. Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger is now fucked after saying screw your freedom. Arnold Schwarzenegger's fucked. Get another pacemaker.
Arnold Schwarzenegger didn't he let Tookie Williams die.
Of course,
Oh, fuck him.
of course. And now look at Arnold Schwarzenegger, all
Mm.
fucked up. Do you know what I mean? All fucked up. Yeah, and I think he's going to get deported. I think they're going to deport Arnie. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, deport Arnie. You get me? Send him back. Where's he from?
I don't even know, bro.
Liechtenstein. Send him back there. Do you know what I mean? To hell with Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know what I mean? Used to be a fan when I was a kid. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, I mean, Simon. I mean, he was that guy in that era.
he was the guy. I'm not gonna lie. Last
I
action
mean,
hero.
he came from wherever he was from as a bodybuilder and whatever,
Nah, he
and
was from
became.
Austria. I'm just being ignorant. He's from
I
Austria.
don't even remember, but
He's from
he,
Austria.
he became the governor of Australia. I mean,
No, yeah, of
of
California.
California.
Yeah, he did. He did. And actually, Tookie and them man were all fans of him. You understand?
Yeah.
So it was symbolic that he put him to death. Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, but what I was more saying is like what it
But
is.
what you're saying,
What I'm saying,
no,
what
no,
I'm
I'm just,
saying,
I'm just
what I'm
looking at
saying. Let me
Bill
say what
Gates,
I'm
yeah?
saying. Yeah.
Let me
So
just
I'm
go back
saying,
to Bill Gates.
the
'Cause
reason why when you bring so when people bring up, don't get me wrong, I like people's raps, yeah, but I have to keep it 100 as well. So if people are going to talk about man that was speaking out and talking the thing in London, you'd have to say like Two Badder, yeah,
No, but Tubada is a heavy rapper who speaks some real shit in his music. He he delivers it incredibly, like the his I don't know, his delivery and energy is one of the best I've heard in years, as far as rapping. And he talks some real shit, yeah.
yeah.
But he's not. I've not seen him do what them man do on any of these topics and give a real breakdown of what he's saying.
You know what it is with him, bruv.
Mm.
Yeah, like it's mad because I heard about him from years ago. Had
Yeah,
his
yeah,
a CD of him. I didn't know who he was for years, for a long
yeah,
time. I
yeah.
didn't know who this guy was, but he was talking some real shit from way back in the day. Yeah,
Mm.
but actually, if you check him out, what he's doing, he actually is talking. He's walking the walk and talking the talk.
Yeah, yeah,
He's
yeah.
doing things in South London, bruv. He's got
Heavy,
sack.
yeah,
He's got
yeah,
school. He's opened a school up in South London.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
what
yeah.
he's talking, he's
He's
actually
doing. See,
doing,
I don't
and
know of that.
he's definitely not got any kind of
I'm
you
not.
know. There's no politicians
No, no.
kind of.
I'm saying this year. I'm saying I don't know that he's not doing the kind of
Yeah,
talk that
yeah,
I
yeah.
just said. From what I've seen. I'm saying I ain't seen him pushing information. He might. I'm not even talking about like the community work side you've just
No,
said.
he
That's
pushed it.
big, and we should talk about that. And we should actually highlight that. And
No, no,
maybe you
he's
don't even
been
care about
dropping
it being
knowledge.
highlighted.
Two Badder has been. Do you know what it is with Two Badder?
Mm.
He's been dropping knowledge for a very long time,
Yeah,
and it's gone over. And like most of the time, it's gone over people's heads.
but that's
But
why I say
he
them
said
man.
what he said, and he's left his musical legacy there as you
And,
know what I mean.
and that's why I agree with you. He's obviously not being told what to say by anyone. He's obviously
He
calling
just
out. He's constantly calling out the establishment.
he's
He said
saying what
some
he
things.
wants to say. That's a
He's saying what he wants to
that
say,
goes
and
back to
he
Akala and
even
Loki. Go back to Akala and Loki, yeah. Yeah, they're saying stuff, yeah, and this is no disrespect to none of them, yeah, but they're not in a position where they can say what they want to say. There's absolutely no way they could have got up and said what I've been saying about the anti-lockdown, anti-vax. There's absolutely no way that would have ever happened. No way.
because
Someone
I'll
would
tell you why though. I'll tell you the real
someone would have got
reason.
locked up or worse.
I'll tell you what the other reason though. Because they base their stuff in fact, and the stuff you've been saying about lockdown, most of it is not in fact. Most of it's not in fact. Most of the stuff you lot talk about vaccines and lockdown and that is your opinion. You're talking, it's very opinion based. I might have a similar opinion to you on many of it, but I'm more a guy who only speaks in fact as well. So I don't you guys speak with authority as if you're speaking in fact based on emotion and based on ideas. But those guys are educated. That's why I say this is the difference. And Too Badder, I think he probably speaks in a lot of fact as well. But then some of it's his opinion. But he's a rapper. He can do whatever he wants, and like that's calm. But that's why I'm not calling necessarily the
No,
same
no, but
thing.
at the end of the day, yeah. All right,
And
cool.
if he does
It's
do that,
facts,
or
yeah.
you do that, I'm gonna
No,
support
yeah,
it and
because
go,
you
yeah,
know
that's
what it
it.
is. You can't trust any facts, mate. You can't trust no facts. So at the
We
end of the day,
definitely can't trust yours.
I'll go. Yeah, you know what it is. You see the difference between me and them, man. Yeah, it's yeah, straight up. I'll go off instinct. Yeah, I didn't need no facts. I'll go straight
Yeah.
up off instinct, 100% off instinct. Yeah, and
I feel you. Do you know
I
what?
bet you, my instincts, yeah, are better
But your
matched up
instincts can
than
serve
people's
you. Your
facts. Huh?
instincts can serve you, and
No,
it
no,
can
no.
serve the people around you and who you influence and stuff
Yeah,
like that. Yeah.
yeah.
But you can't take your instincts on that level and go and speak to the whole world
Why not? Look what happened
and and
when they trusted facts. Look how many of them dropped dead.
and claim. No, no, because yeah, you're right. Because there's
Yeah,
things
so
claimed as
fuck the
facts that
facts.
was in all of that were not facts. That's true. But I'm saying you can't present something to the world as if it's facts when it's not as well, and then complain about them doing it,
I don't give a
complain about
shit
the
if they do it.
government doing
But
it.
at the end of the day, like I
Um,
said, all I'm saying. I don't care if these people do it,
but no, I
right?
agree with you.
But
I'll tell you why.
the fact that there was no warning from the people that they look to for answers.
But why
The
would you give
fact,
a warning to something you're not, you're unsure of? These are people who actually research and make sure they're educated before they speak, as they should, because someone's got to hold that line. I hold the line more like you, Terra, because
so what
actually
would
when
you
I
how
no, no,
so so what are you? So I don't
let
understand.
me
I don't
land
understand.
though.
So what are they? So basically these man. So what are they trying to say then? So they're trying to.
No,
I
no,
don't
let me say
understand the message.
let me say what
So
I'm trying to say.
are they trying to say we should trust? Are they trying to say that
No,
we
no,
should trust
Terra.
fucking Bill Gates or Moderna
Let me
or any of these
finish. Let me
people
land.
ever?
Let me land because you claimed the same thing about me at the time, yeah? Because you said I wasn't speaking on something, and that's all it was. Really, you're saying, "Oh, you're not speaking on this." Cool. You said the same thing to me. You said about Loki at the time. Boom, and I started this whole little part of our conversation saying, I often say to people, I'm not Akala, I'm not Loki, because I speak on these issues in a kind of hood raggle kind of way. And
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes I think the way you just described it of going off instinct, sometimes that's what it is. Sometimes I'll just make a statement, nah, I know that ain't true. I know, like, you know what I'm saying, I'll just, but there's a level to it. When that whole thing, global like situation happened, I sat there and said, "Well, I'm not really sure here. I know. I'm not sure enough to know I don't want to be involved. I don't want to be involved. Tell everyone to go home. Tell everyone to take something that the government's telling them to take. I know the same instinct as you that I'm not going to do that. But I'm not going to also go and speak on it publicly. I'm going to let it play out because I don't know. I can't speak on it from an educated position yet. So I can relate to them, man, who usually don't go off. Like I didn't even want to do that, and I'm another guy who does go off instinct like that. So I understand why them, man, who actually come to speak from an
Yeah, but
educated place
what they was
always,
saying,
are not
what
going to
was being
speak on it.
said, yeah, was more in line to the official narrative. Yeah,
By
don't get me
them.
wrong. There was certain complaints. Yeah, there was certain complaints being
No, no,
said.
what do you mean? That
Yeah,
was
there was
said by
certain
them.
complaints. Huh?
Certain complaints said by them.
Yeah, there was certain within it because there was there was a freestyle that was dropped, and it was. Don't
Oh,
get me
Loki
wrong.
dropped the
It
freestyle.
was
Did his freestyle say to take the thing though?
no, it wasn't even well. There was something along the lines of vaccines in a tweet or something. Right, that's something different. But
Yeah.
no, it was more along the lines of the government not having enough PPE and stuff like that, and also,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah. I
know,
remember now.
what will
I remember
happen
now.
if you catch it, sort of thing. I'm not, boy. Everyone, each to their own, innit? I'm not
I'm
saying.
saying this is
I'm,
but this
I'm,
is a pin.
I'm just saying that could give me indications that it was a bit of collusion, almost like there was a bit of like,
Nah,
can you
you can't just say just speaking as if the thing exists is
if what?
you can't basically just acknowledging the thing exists. Just saying, just acknowledging
Well,
that
boy,
the
I'm
thing
not. Well, it
could
is.
exist. No,
This is
you
where,
can say he could
well,
be wrong. You could come out later and go, it was proven the thing didn't exist, so you was wrong. But that doesn't mean man was like being told to say something because it would be if he was told to say something, it'd be way more extreme than that.
yeah, but do you know what I'm saying, though, innit? Like,
No,
I,
you're going too far. I think you're
no,
being
I'm
an
not going.
extremist.
You can see, no, but you could. I'm not okay. Now you've explained it to me. I'm like, cool, but you could see how somebody could retake it that way and say, oh, raw, he's saying this and da 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 da. Do you see what I'm saying? And someone could take that as he's pushing the agenda.
No, but no, I think that's going too far because he wasn't.
So
He
you
was.
don't think anyone could think that? So this
I
is
don't. I think in order to think that, you've got to have a bit of an agenda to want that to be the case and want to have someone to call out and want to kind of
why
like
would you want to?
hype something up
Why would you want to call anyone out? You know what I mean? Like,
because you
why
want to
would you
get
want to?
attention on social media, because you want to use this. I think the entire RA platform was. You see what I said about thinking that stuff when I was younger about them man like creating a business out of political issues and struggle, yeah, and actually capitalizing off of it. I think that's what RA did. I don't even think they believe half the stuff they say. I think most of the people doing conspiracy truth for content on the internet are just doing it for clicks. They're actually trying to just make clickbait shock
Well,
value
what I noticed,
headlines.
a lot of the artists that I met around these that circle, a lot of them had never really had much attention until that period.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So I get what you're saying. I
Yeah, they
do get
built
what
a
you're
lot of
saying.
people took that moment. I think
I
you
do get
did
what
it
you're
as
saying.
well. And I'm not saying it in a bad way, but I think you did it. I think
No,
you
no, no.
saw
But the
an
difference,
I
no,
think you
but
saw an
no, but
opportunity.
let me explain the difference. Let me explain the difference to you, right? And let me
Mm.
explain how the clout chasing worked. Yeah, because we both now before all this happened, right? I was not an internet man. You were the internet man. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you was the internet man. Now you got me on your thing. A lot of people asked me to come on their thing. You got me on your platform. I got on your platform.
Yeah.
From there, that's when people decided to clout chase off of our thing. That's
Yeah,
when
yeah, no,
M man got
but
involved.
I think you were clout chasing as well.
Off who?
Just off of the fact there was off of the pandemic.
I weren't clout chasing off the
I'm not saying it in a
pandemic.
horrible way. I'm not
I
saying in a
weren't
horrible way.
clout chasing off the
And I'll tell
pandemic.
you what,
I was doing my
I'll
own
tell you
thing.
what though,
I
Terry,
was
I'll tell
doing
you
my
this.
own thing.
We don't have to call it clout chasing, yeah? That's a
People
negative clout.
chose to give their attention to me.
No, no, no. I'm saying
Yeah,
clout chasing
and
clout
rightfully so
chasing
because
is
lives were saved. But
listen, I'm saying clout chasing is maybe the wrong term. I'm not because I'm not trying to say you did anything
it got
wrong.
me. It got me. Do you get me? It got me
I'm saying you built a
attention.
business. I'm saying you saw an opportunity. You
Yeah,
saw
but
that
it got me
talking about this
attention
on the
that I don't
internet was a
even want.
business
It got
opportunity.
me business up. It got me business of people whose money I don't want. In a lot of cases,
You started a clothing brand off of it.
I did. I did,
And good for
and now
you. Tara, good for you. You should
I
do
had
that in
to.
any
I had
opportunity.
to. Do you know what it is?
No, that's Tara, do you know what? I started a business in COVID as well. I hadn't really said this before, but the business still existed, but I became a director and put my focus into a business
Yeah,
during COVID that has gone from strength to strength. And
yeah,
it was because of the lockdown and because of COVID that it became much more successful because the service we were providing was needed even more. So that happened as well, but it wasn't a fact of seeing an opportunity. But the thing what I saw with this content on the internet is like, oh, this is going on. People are at home, they're frustrated, they're angry. So let's feed into that and let's get them looking at our platform and sending us money. I mean, I think you've done it in a quite a good way because you haven't you're not really the guy to stand there either. And that's what I'm saying. So you're more like me in that sense. You know, you're not the guy to sit here and make a video making very specific claims. Like and go, oh, this is what's going on. RA do that and they chat complete nonsense. Like they wish they could be
yeah. But
like
we
thing.
got to understand. We're not this. Like my thing is not a politically like a lot of people want it to be, and I'm always
Mm,
constantly getting rid of people. They want to make it political. They want to put some sort of political attachment to it. Yeah, there's none of that. There's none of that. Like I said, I'll dialogue with people. I'm not against dialoguing with anybody.
mm.
Um, but my thing isn't that. So I'm not going to sit there and say, you know, you know, we're not a right leaning station or platform, and then
What?
be seen attacking
Oh, and then, bro, I thought that was your statement. You know, wait. I thought you said I'm not. Wait.
and then be
I
seen.
thought your statement was I'm not
No,
going to say we're not a right
no,
leaning
no, but
platform. Obviously, we
this is what I'm
are.
saying. I'm not gonna make a claim and then be seen publicly doing something crazy like running down the anti-racist league or whatever,
Let's
anti-Nazi
can we
league and
touch
stuff
on
like that.
can we touch on that then?
Touch
Because
on what?
obviously we've touched on it. We've gone back and forth on this for years.
Why? Do you know what it is, Nova?
You've
What
come
you
a
have
long
to,
way.
no, let me just say one thing because you see with this clout chasing thing, what you have to understand, yeah, you implied almost that bad slave was popping off because of that side of things. when really,
What side of
really
things?
you're not giving yourself the credit, because most of the attention was coming between me and you.
I know,
If
I know, I know.
anything, people were interjecting, bruv. Yeah,
Yeah.
you get me. The small fish were swimming around the sharks. Yeah, interjecting, right, and then claiming that this, that, and the other. Yeah. So in terms of like, yeah, obviously, I had followers from all different angles. Yeah, but a lot of people, like I said, there's a lot of people, bruv, that was wearing bad slave, bruv, that if they see me in the streets, they'd have to cross the road. Do you see what I'm saying? Because we ain't cool anymore. You
Because
understand? So
since then, I
yeah.
remember this, yeah. I was saying that this whole community, at the time of the
Yeah,
anti-lockdown,
but
like,
yeah, but now this is more clout, bruv. This is more clout for them, man. Because like I said, a lot of clout was gained. Remember,
not for me though.
from you as well.
Not for me though. From me,
Not
yeah.
for you, but from no,
Because
not for me
I did
either.
the opposite. Terror, I
Not
did
for
the
me.
opposite. I
Not for
did the
me.
opposite.
My
I
ting
did the
legit.
Flip
My
Live
ting.
podcast a little.
My bad slave thing makes things look pop. It makes things look certain. You get me? Other
Mm,
people's brands, other people that try to get into that market, their thing all flopped. This is what I'm saying. It all flopped. My thing looks legit. Do you get what I mean?
mm,
I'm not going to talk about the musicians and stuff, but certain musicians, their thing was legit. And they, you know what I mean? That's why they were brought in, to legitimize certain things, because
mm,
obviously things are different in different places in the country. We have access to certain things that are not accessible in every part of the country. Like we can click our fingers and we can have big UK rappers up on stage, like it's not a problem. Do you see what I'm saying? So a lot of in a lot of cases there weren't no clout to be had. What clout was there to be had? There
I'm
was
just
no
saying,
clout.
yeah. I don't want to go over it because, like I say, I'm not saying I don't want to go over it too much. But like I said, it's not an insult. I was just saying, them man, a lot of them don't even believe what they say, and they just saw an opportunity to create a business out of clickbait by making claims against people, the government, etc. Because there's loads of lost people who don't really understand things that much, who aren't very intelligent, that will buy into it. And I think so. That's what's very different between what you did and they did. I'm not saying you did this, they did that. Your thing's different because you didn't sit there trying to tell everyone how like to follow specific information. You didn't sit there making a video about Bill Gates and saying this is what's going on. You just told people to don't believe the thing, don't believe everything you're told, and don't be a good slave or whatever, which is calm. I've got no issue with that. But I'm just saying that you also did see the opportunity in a time when people were constantly on the internet and constantly following certain narratives and certain level of rebellion and looking for something to follow. And there's nothing wrong with that. You done it in a good way. Actually, I had an issue with some of the things you did, but we have done a whole series about that, so I don't need to. You know what I'm saying? We don't need to go and say I'm not. So just while I'm saying you did it in a good way, let me not
Yeah,
act like I didn't have an issue with nothing.
yeah,
But
yeah.
you didn't, yeah, you didn't come on the internet and pretend a load of stuff for clicks. You probably at least said what you believed. Do you know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Like at the time,
mm.
and
And
that's
it all
cool.
came to be true.
No,
It,
no,
it
it
all
didn't
came.
come to be
No, but it
true.
all came into fruition.
No, what I said all came to be true.
What? What was that?
Everything I said in that series came to be true. You've admitted it.
Certain things you did say become to be true, but you know what it is. You know what? You know why I don't like to argue with you too much on this, yeah? Because like I feel like when we did that series, yeah, like I won on technicalities, yeah. But I feel like but let me land.
10-1, bro.
I feel like I feel like you won on morality. I feel like you won on the morality side of it. You know what I
Yeah, yeah,
mean?
but
Like
yeah, of course.
because
But I was the only one being compassionate.
no. I don't even mean in that sense, brother. You like certain guys you called out, brother. You called certain man out.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
get
yeah.
me?
Because
You called
but
certain man. You brought
but
down the
Trevor,
house of cards. You brought
yeah,
the
yeah.
house
All
of
right. So
cards
let's
down.
look at it. Let's look at that, right? So I called certain people out at the time, saying these people in this movement are racist. You didn't want to hear it at the time. No, you did acknowledge there's some people, but you didn't really quite want to accept the extent of the connection between movement at the time of people campaigning and being anti-lockdown and anti-everything that were actually anti-Black Lives Matter that was there before and anti any other kind of racial equality, gender equality, against like they're literally just
You know what it
scumbags.
is. You know
Yeah,
what it
but
is.
now since then you've many times posted Nova was right, and you've posted really good evidence of
Yeah,
that,
what it
and
is.
you've
I
adjusted
don't.
what you're
I'll be
doing
honest with you. I don't
based on
think.
it.
I don't even think, you know what it is with these people. Again, yeah, not to give anyone a pass or anything like that. Yeah. Now, like that video I shared earlier on, right? That guy's problem is not that he's a racist. It's that he's a drunken idiot.
No, they're both problems though. There's
Yeah,
two
it is,
problems.
but this is
No, but the drunken idiot problem isn't
and
the
what it
biggest
was,
problem.
what it was with
The
them
drunken
people,
idiot
right?
thing isn't the
What it
biggest
was with
problem
those
though.
people, do you know what it is? It's not even like I'm not even gonna hold it against them as racist. I'm just gonna hold it against them as careless idiots. And that's all I'll look
No,
at it
no,
as. They're just
racist is more
careless
important.
idiots. Cool.
The racist part is more important.
Careless idiots to the point where you've got people thinking you're racist now. So then that's your
Well,
own
he is
doing.
racist. That's
Yeah,
a
and that's
fact.
for your own careless behavior.
We
Yeah, and that's
proved he's
all
a
I'll say.
racist.
That's
We
all I was
both
saying. It. That's your own careless behavior.
listen.
It doesn't mean I can't go and tell you every single person's views. Possibly there is probably a lot of racism in there, yeah. But I'm not even that fussed. The fact of the matter is, they're the ones who revealed it. I don't need to
Listen
go
though.
and tell you. I don't need
No,
to go
no,
and
no,
tell
no.
you this person's this because
Terra.
they revealed it themselves.
So he revealed he's racist already in this video. We know he's racist. That doesn't mean you can't ever speak to him or whatever. But I'm saying he's racist, but his drunken idiotness is not really an issue to the rest of the world. It's an issue to you if you're around him. So that's why you remove yourself from him. That's a day to
Yeah,
day.
but you see,
But it's not the real issue in
yeah,
the
but you
bigger
got to
scale.
understand. Look, you see with the
Terra.
racism. Let me explain something,
No.
okay?
Let me
Let me
let
explain
me land
something, Nova.
though.
Let me explain something because
No, no, no. I want to land
I'm a
before you
man. I'm an
explain.
observant man, Nova. So I
No,
sit
there's
there.
something we got
Let
to
me
add before you
explain
explain.
something.
There's something we got to
Let
add.
me explain what I'm saying. Yeah. So you see all these people, right? People are that stupid in this day and age, right? Because everyone can see what was going on. Me and you were having our back and forwards, yeah. Now, like everyone knows that you lot are trying to get me out of here. You know what I mean? And everyone knows you get me if you got the right ammunition, I'm out of here.
What do
So
you mean get you out of here?
slyly, because remember, my clothing brand is doing better than all of theirs.
Oh, them man are trying to get you out of
Without
here.
even
Yeah,
trying, well, they can't get me out of here.
yeah.
They need to use
I
you
thought
to
you
get
meant
me out
me.
of it. They need to use you to get me out of here. So the best way to do it is associate my brand with that. So this is the sly little maneuvers they're trying to do. So it's not even to say that they are racist and they couldn't help themselves. It's they're strategically, they know what they're doing. So they're trying to mix my brand up with a whole load of bullshit, yeah, which they've got themselves mixed up in with. And then by proxy, people that support you will go off what I'm doing. And do you see what I'm saying? Basically trying to sabotage what I'm doing. And that's why people will be more happy to reveal them. So they're just acting up. It doesn't mean they're racist. They're just acting up because
No,
this
but they
is
are
the
all racist
tactic.
though, separate to that.
Right,
So I'm
fair
saying
enough.
all of this
Now
is
that they've done
distracting.
that, and they revealed themselves, if other people want to sit there and say, "Oh, well, I think this person's racist," that's how they think. That's whatever in it.
Yeah, but you're focused
They've
too
done
much
it.
on listen, and his whole thing is focused too much on individual people. Oh, that person's a racist. Yeah, cool. I say that so that we can then have a conversation about racism. I don't say it to just go, oh, I say it so we can stop platforming the wrong people. That's the benefit because we're not just trying to make a list here. We don't need that's not helping anybody. So at the end of the day, saying it is just to, like I say, it's just so that we don't become a part of it. Because at the time, you was platforming loads of these people, and they was gaining off of association with your thing, yeah.
Of course.
So, and I was cool with me and you having our little back and forths, and that was helping your thing as well. I didn't even build my thing over that time. I could have. I made less content. I did less music. I focused on other things, and dealing with life. But what I'm saying is, yeah, you since then have seen that I was correct about so many people that was being platformed, and I was saying we should not be platforming these people because they have a racist agenda. That what they're actually
Someone
doing.
says, sorry, in the comments, we got someone. Oh my God. So glad Terra stopped rolling with Rise Above.
Who said that?
Them that's fully racist. Shillers now. Not even shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what it is, man. It's you know what it is? Like it's a weird one. And a lot of the times I keep bringing it back to the drugs and the alcohol because I know a lot of people.
You can't say the
no,
rise
no,
above.
a lot of people that will use drugs and alcohol in a problematic way. They have ways of self-sabotaging. Now, I don't want to get in. Like, I don't want
We
to get
can't.
into.
Pull
Listen,
up. Because
listen. I
let's
don't
stick
want to
to
get into.
rise above,
No,
though.
but I don't want to get into it because we're lowering the tone of this. Just
No,
talking
no, no, no,
about
no,
this,
no, no.
yeah,
Because
lowering the
we're
tone of
gonna.
this
It's a quick.
podcast.
I don't want to. I don't listen. I don't want to talk about them, man. Yeah, because I don't want
Yeah,
to. I don't really like. But we're gonna
because
just.
it's worse things.
No, 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 no. But it's
Yeah,
just an example. It's just an example briefly, so we can talk about what's going on currently and how we move forward. Yeah, I don't want to speak on them because I don't want them to try and back and forth with me like I've done with them. I don't speak about certain people and they're on that list. Yeah, I wouldn't speak about them in anywhere else only because here there's a relevance to your platform. Yeah, what I'm saying is if them man like them man you can't use drink and drugs as an excuse because them man were calculated. Like I say, they made a real planned
yeah,
idea to make a business
yeah.
out of that time period. Yeah. And it's kind of whatever since. But you came around to realizing, yeah, these lot are wrong uns. And they've leaned more into racism recently and leaned into like anti-immigration and literally standing outside with like right-wing protesters and stuff like that. So it's like we see it publicly now. They're doing it publicly even now that they're not associated with you. It's like they feel free to do it publicly. But what I'm saying is, what is being learnt from all of that, as far as what we do now going forward, as far as you now having a podcast here and the people you've had on since.
Yeah,
Because me and you, no, because
we
me and you, I've challenged a couple of the people that I've said, oh, you're platforming some mad people here. Not
mm,
all of them. You've had some good people as well, and you've had some good people who maybe you wouldn't even think they're problematic, but they ended up writing something racist on my comment on YouTube where I had a video where me and you did a podcast before.
oh
And
what, oh
that
what?
mad
So I've got,
woman,
yeah, I've got, someone I'm due
that
to have on.
mad woman.
Someone I'm due to have on, but this is another thing.
No, no,
But
no, she
no,
was
but
on already
this
before,
is
no?
why again we're going back to we have to go back to the drugs as well because
No, 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 no,
again
no, no, no,
this
no. I'm
this
not
is
hearing
this,
drugs as an excuse because
this,
you wouldn't have it.
this is this,
Sarah,
we're
I'll go and
talking
find a
about
post
some.
now. If you're not allowing drugs to be an excuse,
No,
you're saying
but we're now got to the point we're talking about people that are actually not white.
let's
Yeah,
not talk about the let's
not
not talk
white.
about the people. No, no, let's not talk
Talking
about
about
any specific people. But what I'm saying to you is, I said to you the other day that you have a responsibility if you're going to do a podcast and who you have on and all that kind of stuff. And you said to me, "No, I don't. I'm not taking a stance on anything. Yeah, I don't have to take a
it's
stance. I'm
true. I
just
don't.
creating the entertainment."
Yeah,
So that's what I want to really kind of address here and say, if that's the case, have we learned anything from like the rise above
we have, we have,
mistake?
we have, and that's like we where we can have a laugh and we can have open conversations on the internet. There is still a limit. You understand? There is still that's why a lot of people have had to lock off. There's definitely a limit because it's not a case. Do you know what it is? When people say that free speech offends people, it's the only reason it doesn't offend people because it's true. You understand? It offends people because it's designed to offend people. You understand? So most of what these free speech people are saying, they're not offending people with truth. They're
Oh,
offending people.
they're saying something offensive, like the
They're
drunk guy,
offending people for the sake of offending people and
because they want to.
hiding behind the banner of free speech.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, but even the free speech and expression of free speech and protest, right to protest, is only reserved. So even in their minds, it's only reserved for a select group of people anyway.
Who say what
So
they want, what they
yeah,
want them to say.
yeah. So what can I say? Do you know what it is? I'll be honest with you. Yeah, like what we can learn from these things is just being more professional and taking this stuff way more seriously because a lot of people think racism is a joke and everything. Yeah, but you know what it is? These are the people that are losing their jobs when they're getting caught on the internet saying some shit.
Only a couple of them.
These are
Most
the
of them don't. Most of
well,
them
they
don't.
don't. Well, either way. But yeah, these people need to take these things seriously because either way, you're losing followers. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
You think them man ain't lost followers. You think they haven't lost followers.
But they'll gain followers as
They will
well.
gain followers, fair enough, but you'll lose followers. You could have had them all. This is the thing. In life, yeah, you know what? I'll be honest with you. In life, yeah, you ain't even got to tell people what you think. You ain't even
Mm.
got to tell people what you think. Yeah. So so it all could have run. Them man could have had all these mad thoughts in their head, and they could have just kept it, held it down, did what they did, did their hip hop, drum and bass, reggae, and all of that, it wouldn't have been an issue. But the minute you started saying this stuff publicly, people are going to be like, hold on a minute. So why is this DJ playing at fucking some big, at a reggae festival with some big reggae artist? Why is this guy doing the drum and bass event? Why is this guy fucking rapping? Do you know what I mean? Like, why the fuck is he rapping? Do you know what I mean? And this is what I'm saying. If you don't, you get me. So when you put yourself in that position, you open yourself up to questions that people wouldn't be able to ask you if you didn't say anything. Do you understand? And like I said, lots of people, it was just acting unprofessionally, and really and truly, it's acting unprofessionally. Usually, due to being really pissed up on the internet. Do you know what I mean? Really.
No, but the worst. I want to stay. We got to like the worst of them are not. The worst of them are actually trying to make careers out of this, and like. It's the same like with the misogyny stuff. When I was going on podcasts arguing with Red Pill and Manosphere guys, those guys. That's why I stopped doing it. I stopped I got asked to be on that Pearly Finish show. I rejected it like 6 times, because she's just having a career out of. She's really having a career. That thing that I said about like Loki and Carla that they weren't doing. They weren't. They've been the real deal and proven that. But those people literally are doing that.
So it is Nova. So who was our rappers then? Yeah, because don't get me wrong. From 2020, our UK rap scene exploded. We've had the most amount of, what I mean. We've had the most amount of, huh?
Oh, you mean like the young lot?
Bro, in 2020, the UK rap scene went from to popping
even earlier,
off,
but around
it got all glossy.
2019 even I think that was a year as well.
So I listened to all of it, and I'm not gonna sit there and I don't listen to conscious rap. Like, I'm not one of them. I don't listen to any conscious rap.
Well, my argument,
apart from Jar Digger,
it's all conscious rap, and I think Loki said that on the interview on the interview that I done with him. He said something similar. It's all conscious rap. I think someone done a post one time and they went, "Who's your favorite conscious rapper?" And I wrote 50 Cent.
Well, and that's probably the reason why I listen mostly to drill. When it comes to UK rap, it's mostly drill I listen to. Yeah,
it's the most realistic.
And I find drill. I find it, like you said, it is conscious. So I find it more conscious than the conscious rap because I know
it's actually going on. It's completely about social issues.
Yeah, and
it's about poverty. It's about,
and there's more conviction. There's more conviction in those rappers. So I don't find a lot of these rappers that are talking this, that, and the other. And I've been around them for a long time because I've been around Brixton Jam and all them places, and I've seen all these things. Yeah, I'm not. The conviction's not there.
What are you asking me? I want to get to something back what we were talking about. But if you want to talk about music, we can do that anyway. But what are you saying about?
But sorry, I've completely forgot.
You were just asking me about rappers in 2020.
So I was saying, who is the guy? Like, who is like, considering there's so much that's gone on from this period of this point in history, who is the rapper that's recorded all this shit? Yeah, not the one who's gone on about like whatever else. You know what I mean? Who's the one who's actually talked about all this stuff that's gone on with COVID-19 and all that?
Why does it like? I just
want to know who.
I don't know, but I think you're focused on. I think this why I felt, and I still feel it. I felt at that time. I mean, at that time, I understand it because we were in it. I think way too much weight has been put on focusing on that from your side and the community, all those communities you was around. Because I think there's
but you're talking like I was around remember who's at the epicenter of all of this. Remember who's at the epicenter of all of this. I was not influenced by anybody. Yeah. You can ask Algie, bruv. Ask Algie, because Algie, he's one of the people that has been there from the very beginning. Yeah. So he will tell you there's not been anyone influencing. If anything, it's people gravitating towards me and what I do and building themselves around me.
I don't know where you're going with that, but what I'm saying is you're asking me a question, who's the rapper speaking about this? And I'm like, I don't care. I wouldn't listen to them. They'd be shit. Why would a rapper be speaking about that all day? What, a person who doesn't know what they're talking about? Why would I want to listen to a rapper talking about something he doesn't know, got no evidence on, and it's just waffling, and he's sat on the internet too much, and he's gonna start telling me that Bill Gates eats kids, and he's never like. I want to hear something real. I want to hear, and I'm not
Yeah,
saying none of that could be true. It could be true, but
yeah.
you haven't got evidence of it.
All right.
So I'd rather listen to Loki, who has evidence of everything he says. He can back it up, and he will. Yeah, I'd rather
Mm,
listen to that, and I'd
mm,
rather
mm,
listen.
mm.
I'll tell you who I'd rather listen to, and who's the rapper. If you
Yeah,
talk about social issues,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And that's why people, when people say, oh, they don't let political, our rap can't be, we get shut down, we can't speak about real things. No,
Yeah.
because Dave has just had two number 1 albums, and his most recent album, he has one of the most amazing songs that has ever been written about misogyny in the history of the world. Like, it's incredible
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
what he's said about how men need to be reacting and behaving and learning about violence against women as an epidemic. What he
Mm,
said in that song is much more important than anything you're talking about. So,
mm.
so why am I going to be looking for this for a conspiracy theorist rapper who has got nothing to say? I don't care. He's shit.
Yeah.
And that's why,
You
and
think?
that's
I,
why, yeah. And
yeah.
Tara, I think you kind of know this because you could have been that rapper. You didn't even put out loads of music during that time about it all. Yeah, I tell you, the people who wanted to be that rapper, they were
Who?
shit rappers. Like the guy who we're talking about, the guy who made this podcast. We don't want to spend too much time on him. You know that guy doing drum and bass who was the leader of that podcast. He's shit. He's always been shit. Never had a career in his life.
No,
Never been
like,
picked
let me
for a
play devil's
booking.
advocate. Yeah,
What?
I'll play devil's advocate. Yeah,
Yeah.
he had the flow and the
No,
wordplay.
he had no
He had the
flow.
flow. He could ride a
He
beat.
had
He
no
could ride
flow.
a
He was
beat. He could
terrible.
ride a beat, and he had
He was
some
terrible.
vocab.
And,
He
and
could ride a beat,
you know what? He actually looked like Ali G.
bro.
And he tried to say that to me once because it's one of them things people say about rappers or people in black culture. And I looked at him and I thought, you actually look like Ali G. And Ali G
He
had more drum and bass kind of like you literally almost are modeled on him.
mental, mental,
Sacha
bro.
Baron Cohen. Actually, oh, if we deep it might actually be him.
Yeah, but I don't think it's that deep in it. It's like obviously certain people stepped out of line and had to get
Like,
put back
do you
in
know
the
who was
place.
rapping about that, bro? Shall I tell you who the rapper was?
Who?
One crackhead in a white van.
What? Oh, that. Oh my.
Baz. Like, that's who raps about that kind of shit.
Oh, I'm gonna unplug it. I think I'm gonna unplug everything. You know that I'm about to unplug everything. Seriously, I'm out of here. I'm out of
No,
here,
tell her.
guys. Oh my god.
I got. All right, let's
All
move
right,
forward. Yeah.
you win. You win. You win. You win. You win. You win. He wins. He wins. Fucking hell. He got me. He got me out of here. He got me out of here, mate. Fucking hell.
No, you know, they probably. I can't really think now. Off the top of their head. There probably was some good rappers who done it in a. Do you know who was rapping about like in America and stuff that people rapping about? It was the racist rappers. They're the ones that wanted to say that because as I said, like Tom McDonald and who's the other guy, the other white. There's all them
Drax.
white. What?
Drax.
Yeah, Drax and there's that Chris, is it Chris something? The one who King of Sting put me onto. There's a guy because he does those
Oh mate.
straight
Why?
facts
Oh mate.
freestyles.
Why did? Oh god.
Straight
Why do you
facts
have to mention
freestyles. He's
that
like
guy's
he's
name?
Webby, something
What?
Webby,
Yeah. Why?
Chris
Why do you have to
Webby.
mention that guy's name for, man?
Yeah, but these are
Seriously.
racist rappers. The ones
Why
who
do
are
you have to
rapping
mention
about
that
that thing are
geezer who put you
racists.
onto him? Why do you have to mention his name?
I don't care.
Fucking hell.
I mean, anyway, importantly, Tara, yeah, because there's something important we've got to say as far as what was revealed to be true, because it all connects to something very important that me and you did together. It's not just me on this. Like, I'm saying, yeah, cool. I was proved to be right about this correlation between racism and that movement, which is even, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear a rapper talking about it. Even
Yeah.
me saying there's a correlation between racism and that movement is not that important either. We don't need to focus on that movement. That's bollocks. The only importance to that was like, oh, these guys want everyone to come out and protest with them, but they only want to protest because it's white people also being told what to do. The only reason there's so much racists in the anti-lockdown movement is because they've never been told to not do something their whole life. They've been allowed to do whatever they want, never experienced any kind of discrimination at school. They might have discriminate like class discrimination, some of them, but never based on never to that extent. Um, anyway, we proved that correlation. Okay, we proved the correlation between racism and right wing and being right wing and what was going on there. But more importantly, me and you both started looking at this together. We weren't challenging each other on this. And over time, we started looking at the correlation between racism. And this was at a point where me and you got kind of on the
And this
same
is why I
thing.
didn't want you to mention this guy's name, bruv.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
why
yeah.
I didn't
Well,
want you to
forget,
mention his
forget. We're
name.
not going to focus on people.
Yeah,
But
but this is why. This is
me
this
and
is
you did this
why.
in private, though.
This is why. But you know what it is. You're right. You're right. But this is why I didn't really want to get into that side of things because I knew we'd start going down this road and
No,
it's
no, because
dark.
it's the most important
It's
thing.
fucking dark. It is important, but it's
No,
fucking
we don't
dark.
have to speak about anyone
Yeah,
specifically.
but
No,
go
no,
on,
no, no,
carry
because
on. Anyway.
I made
Go
my
on.
post this week about the Epstein thing, and
Yeah,
this is what's
yeah,
important because this is what we're going to talk about for the next 5 to 10 years, Tara. We're going to continue to talk about this because we will. You'll see. It's going to be inevitable.
I'm not. See, right now, I've managed to avoid. I've been dragged into a few conversations about Epstein.
Why would you want to avoid it? It's what we should be doing. What
Why do
you
I want to avoid
avoided
it?
it
Do you know
then.
why? Do you know why,
That's
Nova?
what I'm
Do you know
saying.
why?
Learn
Do
from
you
your
know why? Do you
mistake.
know why?
You
Because
avoided the conversation then that we've now accepted. So let's
no,
not
no, no, no,
avoid
no,
the
no, no.
conversation now because
Because
me and you, we speak about this in private. So I know.
yeah, because what's been happening the whole time, this has been going on. We've been hearing nothing but Muslim grooming gangs, Muslim this, Muslim that, right? But here we now have an island, yeah, and it's one of them ones where you know what, the waters is going to forever be muddied because at the end of the day, when the true scale comes out, if ever it does come out, if it even comes out accurately, and like I said to Kev the poet, people are going to be buying themselves off that list, mate. Do you know what I mean? People are going to be coming forward with big bundles of with suitcases of money, buying themselves off that list. Me personally, what can I say about it?
I'm not.
I don't move in them circles. So there's
Trevor, I don't
no
want to
one
focus on the list.
there's no one I know. There's no one I know who has been on the Epstein Island. Yeah, there was someone I saw who in Cornwall who got tagged. This person was actually tagged, and this person was on Epstein Island flight log. So it doesn't
Uh,
mean to say that no one has connections to people that was on Epstein Island. Just me, I don't. I ain't got connections with anyone that went there for parties, and I ain't got connections with anyone that was taken there and abused.
tell you what,
So for me, I haven't looked into the case.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't enough
I
either. I
haven't.
don't want to
Since
talk about that case.
I've all I've thought is all the people that have been talking about it is almost like a distraction. They've
No,
just
it's
been
always been
talking
a
about it.
distraction.
No,
But Tara,
they
that's what I'm
haven't been
saying.
talking about it for
So
distraction.
let's not
People
talk
I
about
know
it
that
then.
have been talking about it have been talking about it
But
as
Tara,
a way of avoidance
you
some other
you you
issue.
you I know you ain't meant to do this, but you've jumped into talking about it. But that's not. I didn't mean to talk about that. We can touch
Okay.
on it, but I'm not talking about that story. That's one story that's just currently being pushed. I'm just talking about what me and you just started talking about in
Yeah, yeah.
private about the correlation
Hmm.
between the right wing and between people who are quite racist and being a nonce
Mm.
and realizing that those two things had a very common occurrence between each other
Yeah,
and that this whole I mean the whole Epstein thing just came out this week and just kind of proved that in the fact that those same people that was arguing with me on the internet when I was talking about racism are now arguing with me on the internet to defend the people's names who are on this list, to defend Donald Trump being on this list. So it's kind of proven that all of them lot, like we're cool, yeah, we can establish that they're racist. That's why I said that's not really the biggest thing. We don't want to sit and make a list of racists,
yeah,
but
yeah.
what we're realizing is they've got some much darker stuff going on.
Yeah, well, this is why I didn't want to talk about them, bruv. This is why
No,
I
but
did
we don't have
this.
to talk about
This,
anyone
this is
or
why.
them.
Yeah,
But we can say we need to be clear that
yeah.
we've made this
Yeah, but we,
correlation
but,
that these
yeah, but
lot.
with the people that we're referring to, with some of the people that we're referring to, we didn't need all this stuff to know this
No,
about
I'm
them.
not referring to
We didn't,
anybody.
yeah, but
Tara,
the
there
people
was.
that we're referring to, and you know these people that we're referring to, we didn't need them to get caught out with their Epstein
I know, I
list.
know.
We didn't
No, but
need
what I'm
them.
saying,
You
I'm
know what I
talking
mean?
about the man. I'm not talking about anyone because I'm talking
I
about the
know, but
random
I am.
people.
I'm
Random
speaking
people on
about
my post
specific
yesterday.
people. Huh?
I'm talking
I'm
about the
talking,
random people on my post yesterday
yeah.
who are right wing people who were defending this
All right,
situation.
all right. Let's get into those people in your post
This
yesterday.
is my point. I'm not talking. I'm talking about all of them.
Okay,
Anyone who's
okay. Let's
right
get into
wing
that. Let's get into
who
that. Yeah.
thinks that way, and their connection to abuse and nonsense.
Mm.
It seems to be
Well,
a very clear line of connection between those thoughts, racist thoughts, and right wing thoughts, and even like
be-
capitalism
because
and
because
belief in greed, in
You
like
can't get
financial.
paid. You can't be a patriot without patriarchy, and
Ooh,
patriarchy
that was bars still.
it teaches the male dominance over women and children.
Yeah,
Yeah. So at the end of the day, whether people like accept what I'm saying or not, that's the root core of it. And obviously, anti-racist mums. I don't know if you saw. We've done a few
yeah, yeah,
episodes of
yeah,
her. She talks a lot about the patriarchy. And don't get me wrong, a lot of people can look at it and think, oh, patriarchy is a good thing, and it's a man's world, and I mean, don't get me wrong. Even I have my beliefs, yeah, which are but at the same time, this is also a slippery slope because you do get people like some of the people that we've seen on your post, bruv. And me, I'm not one to comment. Me, I don't really go on Facebook to really get involved in anything.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right. But it was just, it was. I woke up one morning, it's about 7:30 in the morning.
Mm.
I didn't even look at my phone that early, but I just decided to look at my phone and I saw that comment from that guy. And
The racist
I
ones.
thought, wow, it's start
Let
and
me
that
touch on what you let me just keep with what you just said though, because I really like what you just said. But
yeah,
patriarchy. Um,
you can't have be a patriot
yeah,
without
but no, but yeah,
patriarchy.
but everything you just broke down about it.
Hmm.
You said okay, the part where you said maybe some people could say it's good and where they defend it, right? I read something about patriarchy the other day I hadn't really thought about that they said they were claiming and saying and breaking down why patriarchy was actually invented just to make money from selling property. It was just the concept. Because remember, back in the day, people didn't used to go, people all lived in one big house. Your grandparents lived in the house, you all lived
Mm,
together, you lived in communities.
mm.
Like the idea of the nuclear family, which they use this as
Oh, right,
well a
yeah,
lot, yeah?
okay. Yeah, yeah,
The idea of the mom, dad, couple kids,
yeah,
dog, job, da, da, da,
yeah.
da, was pushed in order to sell more houses to create
Okay.
the property market.
Demand, yeah, yeah.
And then I'm getting a bit conspiracy. These are just random thoughts at this point. But then the people who say they're trying to break up the home, yeah, which I do think there's an extent capitalism has caused that is my real truth. But all the people who go, they're trying to break up the home.
Yeah,
There's all these
100%
gender
it was
wars.
capitalism because
I'm saying the gender wars, all these, whatever the thing they bring up to say now we're
mm,
being pushed to live, to be separate, and man, woman, have your own house. Actually, I mean
mm.
that's doubling it. That's doubling the
Yeah,
house
yeah, yeah,
sales, isn't it?
100%,
And I was like,
100%.
yo, that actually makes sense.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
actually makes sense. They're literally, and like the property market, when you deep it, is probably the biggest, most corrupt, most disturbance to like life and society there's been. Like as far as us being able to access, as far as capitalism and what it's done, as far as separating general regular resources for the between the rich and poor, the the property market being created even as a thing is one of the most devastating things that happened to this country and probably most countries.
Mm-mm.
To the West.
Most Western countries,
Yeah,
100%, especially in America, of course.
yeah.
Um,
So it's kind of deep. And then, yeah, if you go back to patriarchy uh, and how that's impacted, whether it was planned or not, yeah, it's definitely had a horrible impact on so many things. But yeah, there's another thing I really saw recently that was very interesting about patriarchy, but we're getting a whole different debate, but just about whether, people that argue that male dominance and men head of the household is nature. People are
well,
assuming nature.
well, we got to understand, yeah,
Hmm.
and a lot of these right wing people, they are, some of them are biblical. Yeah, they follow the
Yeah.
Bible, especially in America.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
In
A lot of
England,
patriarchy comes from the Bible, but
yeah, in England, it's more, they're more on, they're more on New Age flex in England. You know what I mean? Most of these.
how long has the Bible been around? You must know this.
How long has the Bible been around? As in a book, or
Yeah,
as in the
not the
books?
story.
The books of the Bible have been around for
But okay,
a
the
few
earliest.
thousands of years,
How many?
maybe like it's hard to say, maybe The Old Testament could have been around for maybe like 6,000 years. I don't know.
I was thinking somewhere like this.
Yeah,
I don't know why I thought around that,
I
but yeah.
don't know, but it might not have been written. It might not have been. It might not have been written down. It might have
But
been.
here's an interesting thing. If we're going to, obviously the Bible tells a story that goes way back beyond that, but really the most of the story is actually in those times, beginning 6,000 years ago. But I mean, how long has the Earth been here? And I know people, I know in the
Yeah,
Bible will say something different to what a scientist will say and stuff like that. But
yeah.
how long have humans existed? So to make an argument that, oh, this is human nature, and you're basing it on a book that was only written 6,000 years ago. So how can you that? What?
Well, what are they using as an excuse for their human nature?
Not an excuse, but it's just a claim. You're claiming that this is how nature is, but you're basing it on
No,
something that was only.
this is claiming. This is the Bible is God's law. It ain't nature. Nature will make you do whatever. You know what I mean? God, that's God's
Okay,
law.
but all right, yeah, but okay, we're getting into a theology
Because
kind of
nature.
debate here. Yeah?
But don't get me wrong. Because don't get me wrong. In the Bible, there's plenty of examples of human nature being
That are
savage.
bad.
Yeah, do you see what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So it's telling you straight. And just like that guy that shared that article and
Mm-mm.
tried to say that certain mad things are natural.
So those
Um,
people, that's a different. You're right though. I
yeah,
was only.
but ultimately, what it is,
Oh
it's
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
no,
That guy. Yeah, yeah.
it's savage. Basically, that's the whole point. It's savage, and it's like the Bible's put there so you can have some sort of discipline in a world full of savage people,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
that guy who shared the article to you. You
No, do you know
understand?
what though? I only use the Bible as the reason because you mentioned it and because you'd have the answer, but also because of the time period. But
Mm.
you made a good differentiation there between God's law and nature, where I was thinking, because in my head, nature, God's law can be the same thing, but
Yeah,
that's my thing, yeah.
Mm.
What I meant to say is these people who argue it's nature, you'd probably be better off arguing it's God's law. That'd be better. That make a better argument because
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
But then I'd push. I don't want. I'm not anti the Bible. I'm quite
And most people,
pro
what it
of
is,
it. But
most people who have got a problem with the Bible and what the Bible says have got a problem with God. Full stop. So
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
the
But
problem.
I have a problem with anything. I have a problem with some things in there. If it said something that was saying I must live in a patriarchal way that I think has had a negative impact on the world, but I would probably
Yeah,
just be
but
able
it's
to
not
look
though.
at
It's
it.
not. It wouldn't though, would it?
I'd probably be able
It
to look at
wouldn't.
it and
It's an order. So there's no.
yeah,
How
yeah.
is it gonna? How are we gonna compare the disorder we have today with the order that's instructed in the book? Because
No, no. So
people aren't.
yeah, yeah. I would probably most of the time, same with the Quran. I'm able to look at these things and read it, and my interpretation would be different to that, and I would see how this is done in practice in a positive way.
Yeah, what it is certain people read it and they think, okay, this allows me to oppress.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
where it goes wrong. So it
Which
doesn't
none
mean,
of it. There's
yeah,
things in it that literally say you can't oppress, so it would be going
yeah. It's
against it
the
anyway.
same like the Quran. Certain people that's what they try and put on the Quran. Oh, Muslim men treat their wife bad. It's like that's not true. Do
No,
you know what I mean? If a
no.
man's treating his
Yeah,
wife
yeah.
bad, it's not due to his religion's not making him do it. You know what I mean?
All
That's his
men are treating
decision.
their wives. All types of men are treating their wives
Of
bad
course,
in
of
many
course. So
situations. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so as far as people using the Bible to justify their it's of course people are going to do it because people are it's the same like people using veganism as a way of you understand looking a certain way.
Well,
um,
we did discover that vegan is. Oh no, let me not say that, and then we'll
no,
get.
you can say it, man, just say it.
Well, we did think, and I found articles on this just about the fact that veganism is very much a white privilege
Yeah, and
related
what else do we find on veganism? It was the number
concept.
one dietary choice for Satanists.
Was
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
Wow.
that's another thing.
And don't get me twisted. Obviously, I know there's loads of black people and non-white cultures who don't eat meat, but they're not actually vegan. They're not following. And a lot of those vegans
No, man.
like to take credit for them.
What black cultures
Like
don't
the
eat meat?
ITAL thing and
Yeah, but
that
what black cultures
they're
don't
not
eat meat?
vegans.
What
Hmm?
black cultures don't eat meat?
What do you mean?
In Jamaica.
Like the ITAL diet and there's
Yeah,
different.
okay, but
Yeah, yeah,
that comes from Hinduism. That's a
yeah.
Hindu
Okay.
influence on them. You
But
understand?
but
So
that's not white either. You know what I'm
that
saying? That's
comes
not
from
white.
elsewhere. Huh?
That's not white though, isn't it? So I'm
No, it's not
saying,
white. but it
It's
comes
not
from,
veganism.
look, listen, it comes from Hinduism. Yeah, a lot of people are not going to like what I'm going to say.
Hmm.
A lot of people could get offended, right? What I'm going to say, yeah, because I'm talking about people's religion, yeah, and it's not me to diss Hindu people, yeah. This is just talking the facts of Hinduism, right? So Hinduism is based on the worship of fallen angels, i.e., demonic entities. Yeah. So if you see all the imagery within Hinduism, that's what it is.
I'm not showing shock at what you're
That's
saying.
what
I'm
it
showing
is.
shock at the fact you're saying it. I'm not educated on this.
Yeah. So that's what it
But,
is. That's what it is, and that's what everyone has to be careful of. You know what I
but
mean?
what I'm
So
saying is them like veganism as an
yeah. So
idea,
veganism
as
has
a
been taught.
following, it's
So
not the same as that. They
if
like to take
if we
credit
look
for
at
these other
veganism,
cultures.
listen, if we look at veganism, we have to look at veganism as something that's been brought to mankind by fallen entities, by demons. Yeah.
Well,
And that's why
you're doing too
that's
much.
why think about the most prominent vegan you know. Yeah, he's probably a demon. Yeah, I
You're doing
guarantee
too
you.
much. And I'm not
Huh?
going to. My whole point was to address how much of it's a white people thing and it's an upper class thing.
I
It's a
hear that.
middle class thing.
And
Because
the reason
who
why,
can afford to be a vegan? Even like, do you know what I'm saying? Like most of the time, the food that's available is more difficult and expensive to
yeah,
actually eat.
because the
Well,
influence what it is, a lot of these new ages, they're the ones who got influenced by all the Eastern through Aleister Crowley, because Aleister Crowley, he was into Eastern theology. So when
and that,
Aleister
yeah.
Crowley, yeah, when Aleister Crowley went over and started studying all that bullshit, yeah, they all started following him, and all the hippie movement followed him. But obviously, the hippie movement aren't poor people; they're all well-off people. Do you see what I'm saying? So yeah, naturally they're able to live as vegans because they're not living on chicken and chips. Do you see what I'm saying? So this is the thing. And when I call out all these new agers for following Crowley, they start making up fucking fairy tales.
And
Start
then
telling me,
I'm saying that loops back to the same of correlation of SA and
yeah, well, this is what Crowley was.
PA.
This is what
Yeah,
he was. So everything he was, they are.
yeah.
Everything. So this is what we have to look at. He was a drug addict. Get me? He was a drug addict, just like they are today. Do you know what I mean? He was everything they are today.
Let me. So I didn't finish my point though, as well. Going back to patriarchy and nature. So what I saw this, and I haven't studied this enough, but it made sense to me. So these guys arguing that this idea of men uh, having to be leaders of a family, having to direct women, and women not being able to kind of cope without a man
Yeah,
uh, leading and
yeah.
dominating their life.
Yeah.
Um,
So the women can't cope with the kids. That's what it is. It's not that women can't cope. It's the women.
Nobody can cope with
Listen
the
to what I'm
kids,
saying.
bro.
People could take offense as much as they want, yeah. But it's like I got two dogs, yeah. I got two big dogs, right? End of the day, it'd be foolish to assume that any woman could just cope with my dogs. Yeah, do you see what I'm saying? The same
All
way.
man though, all
Huh?
man, all
Exactly. So
man.
the same way when you got
But-
teenage kids and their kids are acting up, telling their mum to shut up, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
when
yeah. But that's the same for
that's
any of
the
us.
point where the dad
That's
needs to be
bro.
there.
No,
Huh?
but I'm saying I've been a single dad for 6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a nightmare.
You done a good job though.
No, thank you, and I
You done a
did.
good job.
But I'm saying I couldn't cope with it either. I coped, but I didn't cope. I didn't. Do you know what I'm saying?
uh,
And that, like, yeah. And her mum, I mean, her mum did her shift as well, and she coped with that. So I'm not like saying this in
oh,
any kind of way,
yeah,
but
yeah.
like, it's difficult, man, woman,
Of
child,
course it is.
whatever. If you're on your own dealing with kids, that's not easy. So anyway, that's just going off the point a little. But the thing that I was seeing was these guys who argue that it's nature, and I'm not saying it is or it isn't, I don't know, but their need to enforce this thing and convince women that men must overpower them. They're trying to convince women to be subservient so that
Yeah.
they can get back to a time where they don't have to really show consent, where they don't really have to, like, do you know what I'm saying, where women will be manipulated into
No.
dating them.
But let me explain something to you,
And
Nova.
then
Let
let
me
me just
explain
land.
something to you because you're on the right you're on the right path, Nova. But let me just give you some more context to what so you see all these people you see walking around with these Knight Templar things, yeah, right? You see it,
Where are you
you
going
see
with
it,
this?
you not see it when you see these protests, yeah, going
Yeah,
on, painting a roundabout and all that.
yeah,
See
yeah, yeah,
man dressed up as Knight Templar. You see all this fascination with Knights Templar
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
all of that, yeah. What do you think they were doing? What do you think was going on in them times,
And
bruv?
oh, in the night, I don't. Yeah, 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 a lot of madness.
So this is what
I'm.
I'm saying. So when you've got
Yeah,
people romanticizing about times where they took what they wanted, you get me? They went into the enemy's village. They burnt his village. They took his
But I'm not just talking
wives
about
and
them because
daughters.
it's not just
That's what
it's
they're
not.
romantic. Huh?
There's a lot of communities and cultures that are way far from them that push patriarchy. It may be even more than them. And it's
I know this.
funny. Now listen, it's funny because a lot of them, even like ones that are not from the West, they're like, oh, our version of this is different. And there's a lot of countries that actually were a bit matriarchal as well. And in a sense, like the grandmother is the head of the house. When you deep it, like she's the rated person. She's actually the one everyone listens to.
Of
Like
course, she runs the
that
show.
exists, yeah. But even in them families, the younger generation in it have this thing of the man dominating. And anyway, whatever, that's cool. But it's this need to enforce that men must be the leaders, and convince everyone else so that women are subservient. And I'm not saying it's nature or not, but when this person said this, it's going back to what you said about the Bible. There's a claim on this person made that if it was nature, like it would have existed forever. And if we want to look back, it actually started 10,000 years ago, and they literally cited and explained where patriarchy was started, right? And this is a deeper thing when you do, because it falls into everything we're talking about, and we already said it near the beginning, in saying really it all comes down to capitalism, right? And we said about the housing uh, industry, it was built because they were creating the idea and concept of industry. So this woman on Instagram, she's probably going to break it down better than I would, but or than I can remember to. But she said basically in the beginning, before 10,000 years ago, we were hunter gatherers, right? And if all of
That's
this,
what they reckon. But this is what I'm
yeah.
saying. We're going by all this mad, questionable Darwinist history. That's probably not
Right,
true
true,
at all.
true, true. But
Not true.
this is something I want to look into more, because I got to look into the actual periods of time and what evidence we have of it and why. Yeah. But basically, what she was saying is that in the time we're supposedly hunter gatherers, yeah, and it just makes sense when you follow the whole thing. You know, we didn't have any industry, we didn't have any manufacture. We had to eat every day. Yeah. So we're in a community of people, we got to eat food every day. So at that point, she claimed that the evidence we have available, which I'm sure there's not loads of evidence available what people were
None.
doing, but the evidence we have available, which like I said, I need to look into this to because I really am interested in it. So I will try and
It's all
confirm what
made
that
up.
is.
It's all made out of fucking clay. He made it up
Well,
himself.
but what is your point in having like you don't, especially in this conversation, you might have a different reason to have a negative idea on whatever those ideas are, um, based on other contexts. But in this conversation, I got no reason to challenge it. So what she's claiming about, claiming about the interactions of men and women at the time. So that men and women would work together because they got to eat today. We're hunting, we're doing this, whatever. And there wasn't a hierarchy of men being above them and women
They
waiting.
they haven't got any. They haven't got any. Look, that's the thing. They haven't got a recorded record of this.
No, I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
The Bible has got a recorded record of set things, even
Yeah, yeah,
from
yeah, yeah,
back
yeah, yeah. But yeah,
whenever
of
it
course.
started recording. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it will tell you the setup between men and women from there. Them going by some
You're
pottery
talking
and
about something. You're talking about 4,000 years later from your timeline.
well, this is yeah, but then even anything like remember nothing, something that can't be translated into recordable like language, like it's very hard to say.
But listen, you're challenging it too early because they make when I get to the point.
All right,
But you are right that in a sense that we would have to kind of know what that is, what was going on before, in order to really analyze whether this is the truth. But it makes sense either way because whatever was going on before, that these people claiming it's nature, they don't know if it was or not either. Yeah, if you're saying nobody knows what was going on, then none of them can claim it's nature either. Yeah. So what this woman was claiming that patriarchy actually began 10,000 years ago, after that period when agriculture was invented, when they began farming and actually producing crops and rearing animals, and they actually began to create a process of preparing availability of food, so that every day people didn't need to go out and find food. They actually started producing it themselves. And
Yeah.
I looked at I did look at the history of that, and it did claim, yeah, that was around 10,000 years ago. So once they began producing food themselves, not needing to hunt, not needing to go and find food every day and regularly, then it's the first time in history that we know that there was surplus. So now we've got a situation where we've got food, we've got resources that people need, and we've stocked up on it. So now we can sell it, or control the people who need it,
Yeah, yeah. They
based
say
on
he who
based on
controls the
us being
food
the one
controls the
holding it.
people. They say he who controls the food controls the people.
Exactly. So what this woman was claiming, or her point was that these guys claim that patriarchy is nature, but patriarchy only started 10,000 years ago when we created the idea of surplus of food, and that at that point the men held on to the food and said, "Well, we're going to control this," and that's when they kind of like genderized the situation.
And that's really what happens.
And I'm saying it makes sense, but also what I thought, and the woman didn't say this, what I thought, well, I was like, okay, well, that's the beginning of capitalism then.
Uh, it sounds like a theory.
No, it sounds more provable than a theory, though.
It sounds like a theory. It doesn't sound like something, a definitive like event. It sounds like, yeah, I don't know.
What? No, but it doesn't sound like a theory, Terror, because all the things we're talking about can't exist without that happening. So whenever that happened, whatever was going on before, all of like the things that have come from the concept of capitalism can't exist until then.
Good point, but at the same time, in terms of gender inequality, evidence of this would have been found like historically in the Bible when people like
You're talking way later.
would have started. Yeah, I hear that, but like I said, they still haven't got a record. They still haven't got. They've just got a modern a theory created in modern times. Do you know what I mean? It might be using certain things as evidence of clues, but it's not something they've got written
No,
down.
I'm not saying it was, but it makes sense.
Makes sense.
It makes sense, and it's interesting, and
But it could have happened way later.
I'm gonna research it more. But I'm saying like, and whatever everything that's in the Bible,
Mate, all this stuff that they try and say predict. I'll be honest with you. People can think what they want. All these people that come out and try and say, "Oh, well, this book predates the Bible by 10." It's all bullshit. Because when you check it out, you'll realize it's always someone who belonged to some occult society, and this is why
I'm saying you're showing why you're pushing back.
Yeah, let me and it's always someone from a privileged background who belongs to a cult society who went into the fucking tombs, found a load of writings, decided it predated the Bible and everything else, and then went home and translated it themselves, and then gave everyone the writings and made everyone think, oh well, this predates the Bible. All the emerald tablets is a load of bullshit. The Egyptian Book of the Dead, bullshit. The Sumerian tablets, there's a load of bullshit. Do you see what I'm saying? And if you're one of them people who's stupid, you'll fall for it and you'll think, oh yeah, fucking hell, these guys, you know what I mean? And it's just like you said, like a conspiracy theorist. And a lot of the conspiracy theorists are into all that shit, yeah. But at the end of the day, like you said, that's literally been put together by fucking occultists, people that follow Aleister Crowley, people.
The Bible was put together. Like obviously, the Bible was put together, but also, I don't mean completely. It was written at a time, but it was the pieces of it are put together, pieces are removed, etc., etc.
What was removed?
You tell me. Are you telling me that? Are you telling me
well,
that the king
knew what was removed? Because everyone likes to say
me,
what was removed from the Bible. People tell me stuff was removed.
What's that?
That people tell me that stuff was removed from the Bible.
Are you telling me? I'm going to ask you, yeah. But are you telling me that the King James version of the Bible is a complete whole edition with nothing removed?
What's been removed? It depends. Well, it depends. Like the Apocrypha was also
What's your,
translated by King James as well. But that's not in most Bibles.
is that part of it though? Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your opinion on the Ethiopian Bible?
On what Bible?
The Ethiopian Bible.
I don't know. I've never read it.
But what you know about it?
What I know about it,
I'm asking, do you know
I
about
think it's
it?
a bit different. I don't know. I think it's a bit different to what was written in the King, to what would be translated.
I
I'd
was
imagine it'd be
told,
a
I've been
bit
meaning to
different.
ask you this as a Bible man. Like I was
What?
told this the other day
Yeah.
by an elder.
Mm-mm-mm.
He's a
Yeah, but
music.
this is where we need Brandon, right? This is where
I
Brandon,
won't say his name, this guy, but
this,
he's a big boy music producer, yeah, big boy
yeah,
pop music producer,
yeah,
um, and he's like an elder, uh, who's lived in the world and whatever. We got into talking about Bible and religion and stuff, and he
yeah.
said you need to read the Ethiopian Bible. He said that's the most complete version, and I looked into it, and it said that there's like I can't remember how many books that are in the Ethiopian Bible that are not in the King James. It's quite a lot. Like it's a lot. I meant to ask you about this, but yeah, maybe
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, um, if it even if it is Ethiopian Bible, yeah, even if it's the oldest Bible that they can find, yeah, it
mhm.
still won't be the original. You
Yeah.
understand? So there will be some sort of I don't like I said, I can't tell you what's in it and what isn't because I haven't read it. But Brandon, he did bring up the fact that Christianity came to Ethiopia
Yeah, even even
by
even even Google AI says the Ethiopian Bible is the most complete version, featuring 81 to 88 books that are not in the other
at the
versions.
end of the day, hell with Google AI, some Satan.
Yeah.
I mean, we're listening to
Obviously,
the voice of
but
Satan
I'm
telling
telling
us
you,
about
no,
the Bible.
look, bro, in the same conversation,
Siva.
listen though, in the same conversation, that brother who told me to read that Bible and said it's the most complete, he literally said what you just said. He said AI is Satan. He said it in the within
Yeah,
10
yeah.
minutes.
Well,
So I'm saying
so,
I'm not taking that
so
from Google. I just
all I will
double checked
say
the number.
about all I can really say about the Ethiopian Bible is what I learned of Brandon, and that Christianity came to Ethiopia via Italian missionaries. Right, so they're the people
Okay.
that brought Ethiopia to Christianity to Ethiopia. I believe that was probably it was quite early on, and then
But
you
that's
have.
very interesting to say that they're the ones that have held on to the most complete version of the Bible that still exists because along the way
I
more
wouldn't
was
say
removed.
it's the most complete version because we don't know what's in it. To be honest, yeah, as far as I know, the Ethiopian Bible is called the was it called the Kezanastra? Oh, hold on. Hold on, let me just see. Do you get what I mean? As far as I know, I don't. I'm not an expert, yeah, but
Mm.
as far as I know, I need to check it because I don't know if there's two separate books. Hold on, I'm just checking. I don't know if there's an Ethiopian Bible and then there's another book that they. Do you understand? I need to look into.
I don't know if there's a different name for it. When I saw it,
Yeah.
that's just what
So
people call it.
no, the Ethiopian Bible. So what you got to understand is the Ethiopian Bible would be like early Orthodox Church. So it would have been, it wouldn't have been like they like to believe, that um King Solomon come down and what was it, Queen Sheba and give her a child and
Well, there's something here saying that the Catholic Bible has 73 of those books in it. It's only like the
yeah.
rest
So
of them after that.
I probably need to look into it. A lot of people try and say, oh, you should look into the Ethiopian Bible, but then it's like, well, even if you do read the Ethiopian Bible, you're still gonna have to have it translated in English. So
Yeah.
is the translation as accurate as the King James? I don't know.
Well, you better go dig up King James and ask him to
I don't know.
translate the rest,
I'm not
or
gonna
ask him to
me
ask.
personally. I haven't got to get caught up in the translation and this, that, and the other because as long as I can get an understanding from what is written in there, that's enough. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's
As
why I
long
say
as
you have
I
to
get
make
an
your own,
understanding.
you have to live with your own interpretation sometimes with some things, and that's why I'm like, cool. I'm not going to take patriarchy from the Bible or anywhere. I'm cool. And that's why I want to include this.
You
And
can't pick and choose. Don't get me
Uh,
wrong. Like no one is perfect. Yeah,
no, you can, you can, you can.
you can't pick and choose, mate. You can't. If
No,
you're
no,
gonna,
you
if,
can.
you can't pick and choose,
You
mate.
can, you can, you can, you
You
can.
can't. Well,
But
you think you can pick and choose what you want to, what God's law you want to follow?
well, God's law is simple. It's
What?
God's law in the Bible is not complicated. And it don't say nothing about it. Doesn't actually the actual parts that are God's law don't say nothing about patriarchy.
No, I didn't say nothing about patriarchy, but
Exactly.
even still, if you can't pick and choose at the same time, you
Yeah, yeah.
can't.
There's nothing. There's nothing about patriarchy in there that I need to pick. That needs to be picked. I don't have to. That's not. And also, the Bible has stories in it that are not even lessons. Like it's just a message of the time. There's things in the Bible early on that it says are different later on that it's replaced in the New Testament. Do you know what I'm saying? Where they go
Like what?
cool, but this like where this now is actually how we're doing. This is what we're doing going forward.
Certain things change, but very
Yeah,
specific things change. Like in
yeah,
the Old Testament, you had animal sacrifices.
yeah,
You didn't
yeah.
have them in the New Testament.
Exactly. There you
We don't
go.
know. Maybe we should be sacrificing some animals. We don't. See, this is where there's an argument between the Old and the New Testament. A lot of people say the New Testament is a bit vague, and it was almost like the New Testament was written under Roman occupation. So the New Testament would be the equivalent of us having a conversation over Zoom, yeah, and YouTube, knowing that they're listening. Do you know what I mean? Right? As opposed to being like face to face and saying whatever the fuck we want to say. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's the thing with the New Testament. So a lot of people like to cling on to the New Testament as some fucking watered down, sugar coated version of believing in God. Yeah, when actually that was just because of the times they were in. So actually, the times they were in, they were under Roman occupation. You get your head cut
Well,
off.
the New Testament, Terra, just to push back on what you're saying, because I don't, I can't speak on your beliefs and all of that, but the New Testament is the story of Jesus and what Jesus stood for.
Yeah, I know.
So, are you
And he was on
saying
smoke as well.
what?
He was
Are
on
you
smoke
pushing
as
back
well.
on that?
Huh?
Is that what you're pushing back on?
Well, Jesus was on smoke. Jesus was on smoke. See what I mean? That's what he was. He was on smoke. You get me?
Yeah,
That's why he got himself taken out. You know what I mean? Because he was disrupting their system. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And he was disrupting the people who were putting themselves in high places spiritually. You know what
mm-mm,
I'm saying? The people that was claiming to be the leaders, yeah, but they were actually deceiving the people. A lot
yeah.
like people we have nowadays, a lot like our celebrities we have now. They're put up in high places. Um, and then when it comes down to the crunch, they're not saying nothing. Big up Black the Ripper.
R.I.P.
The only one who really can say like, yeah, he stood on business. Yeah, he stood
Yeah,
on
yeah.
business. And that's the thing. That's a shame. You know what I mean? I thought loads of UK rappers would be down for standing on business, but they're not.
Well, I'll just say big up Akala because I
Yeah,
think his
Marlo,
book.
my
I'll
guy.
go back to Akala where we started because on that point, big up Akala and his book Natives, and everyone should read it. I think everyone in this country should read it. They should make children read that at school. Like it should be actually essential uh, in the curriculum because I think that book is more important than anyone waffling on the internet about vaccines and opinion that they have based on their emotions.
No, but I don't. At the end of the day, that's all gone anyway. Because, like I said, a lot of people did what they did. They took what they took, and they have suffered the consequences of their
They're
choices.
sitting in a they're sitting in a Rizzler.
And that's it. Well, that's it. And we don't, like you said, we don't even want to make fun of people
Hmm.
and mock people for their bad decisions. Do you know what I mean? Well, we can't dwell on them forever. We can't dwell on this stuff forever. At some point, we got to move on. At some point, we can't even be on the internet arguing. We can't even be on the internet bunning people. That's why I
Hmm.
tried to bun as many people as I could in 2025. So 2026, we could just get on with things because really, the way the world is going, we need to be thinking forward. So we need to be thinking about, okay, what foundations are we going to lay down for the next generation in this world that we're living in? Because we've got all the evidence we need to know to now fucked up the world is. We
But
don't
that's
need
why,
we didn't
yeah,
need
yeah.
any more proof.
But that's why I've said from the beginning. When we go back to the racism thing in these communities, it's not about proving. We're not about. We don't. We're not trying to find proof to prove that a person is a racist. What we're trying to do is address how these people are being led into one corner and with all these ideas, which that whole movement during COVID was a huge part of, and stop us getting a reform government brought in, because there's actually real stuff going on. It's actually going to impact us in 4 years' time if that happens. So we should be doing something active to prevent that, because that's what actually they're not on. That's what they actually want.
But judging by humanity's behavior during COVID collectively. So I don't mean like every
But it's the people on your side that are going to make
No,
that
but
happen.
I mean, I'm talking collectively. I'm talking about humanity's behavior collectively. Is it even possible? Is it even possible for them to overthrow anything, or are they just condemned to being sheep forever? Should they just
Yeah,
fall
no, I
in
don't
line?
think it's much. I don't think it's
They
that
just get
possible
on
to
their knees.
overthrow.
Huh?
I don't think it's that possible to overthrow, but I think we do have to try and convince people not to go like. I know you're not a voter, and I understand why.
Where I live, reform just got in, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah.
In what? In a by-election?
Some election, I don't know. There's a reform guy.
How
He's
long though? How long ago?
the other day.
Was that the recent by-election happened the other day? There was one.
See, I'm trying to like move away from all this politics and political thinking. You know what I mean?
But
I'm trying.
we need to stop something that's realistic, and that's what I'm saying. That's why we need to, and that could, if you don't have to get involved in politics and voting and believe in that system, but you're already playing a part in the fact that you're going, yeah, these lot are actually pushing this racist agenda, and it's not on. That's enough. Do you know what I'm saying? To say we're going to stop this message
You know
getting
what it is?
spread and then creating
My
power.
whole thing was just don't do it around me. Just don't do it around me. Like literally, don't like my thing is so not representative of that. You know,
So you're comfortable. So you're happy with them bringing in a racist, like extremely racist, more right-wing like version of the
yeah, do
conservative
whatever you want.
government.
Do whatever you want. Just don't associate it with my brand. You know what I mean? Just don't associate it with
No,
my
I don't
brand.
mean them. I mean like the country.
What do they want me to do about it?
There's loads we can do.
I'll do
We're
what?
doing it now
Why?
for our kids,
Why?
so our kids don't get attacked in the street.
Listen, they have to learn to protect themselves. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Like, I'm not even being funny. This is how I have had to grow up. Yeah. This is how it's got to be. If you want to live in England, you can't expect England to change for you. Yeah. They're going to come for you. Yeah. They're going to do it. Yeah. Literally. Only a few weeks ago, I had a man try, you understand? So imagine if a man's going to try it with me, I'm 6'3", athletic. Yeah. So yeah, you're going to get it. Yeah. All mixed race kids, black kids, Asian kids coming up. Yeah. In England. Yeah. Somewhat you are going to get it. And all of this fucking voting and stuff is not going to stop it from coming to you. So all these people can sit there and go, oh, wait, we're tackling this, we're trying to tackle racism. But when you're a fucking 8-year-old walking to school, yeah, they ain't going to make a fucking difference when someone comes and racially abuses you.
But why are you taking? But why? Yeah, I get your point. You're right. Yes, people should be ready to protect themselves.
You better be.
Agreed.
You better
But
be.
why are you taking a stance against us saying let's? And I said to you, I framed it in a perfect way. We don't have to talk about politics and voting. We can talk about.
Because they're trying to use it. Because
No,
they're
we
trying
can.
to
We can
use it.
talk about.
Listen, no one can use. Listen, when people talk about racism, they can't bring me into that conversation, right? Because people can
saying
sit there and say,
these people are fighting.
People can sit there and say England's going to become more racist. So you're going to be more racist thugs out. Fair enough, yeah. But you can't bring me into that conversation. Yeah, that's not a conversation that's moving me. Ain't moving me. Yeah, so they got to
So you
try
don't want
another
to do
angle.
nothing about it.
Bring race, huh?
But I don't believe you because
I'll do something about it, bruv. I'll do something about it when the racist thugs in my face. I'll do something about it.
I hear that, but
check my record.
You're doing more than that about it because you've been.
Yeah, check. That's what I'm saying. So people can't use that as an angle.
No, but no one's trying to accuse.
Let alone racist thugs. Let alone racist thugs want to target my kids. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we ain't got to deal with no ballot box for that.
Trust me. Confused. You've got a bit confused though. I told you we can look at this without looking at voting. I started that, but you pulled it there.
No. It's not looking at road. It's just looking at. I'm just being objective. We don't have to live with these. Look, we don't have to live with these problems. Yeah, not saying no one has to live with these problems.
Yeah, we do.
But as far as I ain't got to sit there worrying about fucking people getting more racist, and they want to fucking do something. Yeah, do something. Literally do something then, innit? Right? But aside from that, that is not enough to make me want to say, okay, let me get involved in a fucking election
No, I
as
didn't say that,
opposed
but I told you, you've
to
got confused.
no, no,
I
no.
told you in the beginning, I'm not talking about that because I know you're not on that. I said you're not on voting, so let's not look at that as the way forward. But I'm saying there is another reason to challenge racism in communities and racism that we see because it leads to them introducing that more of that racism into public policy. So we can prevent that without talking about, oh, we need to vote them out. We can encourage young people and any people not to go down that road of actually, you're already doing it. You're literally already doing it because you've been posting stuff online about people who are getting dragged into these like asylum hotel nonsense, whatever. You've been posting stuff like what I post. Anyway, so doing that, challenging that, is an action that can challenge in the long run them
Yeah,
attempting
but
to
what people
introduce
have to
those things into
understand, we
public
have to,
policy.
we have all the effect against fighting racism. No one else can take credit against it. We have all the effect of it. Yeah. So when everyone sits there and tries to, oh, we no. If we want to bring down the fucking the levels of racism, we'll bring it down. Yeah. We don't need no one to come and step up for us. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's me speaking on behalf of my community. So they got to take my community out of the conversation. If it's a Muslim community thing, then deal with the Muslims. Yeah, deal with the
yeah.
Muslims. Yeah, they cannot bring my community into this. Yeah, because actually, like I said, if anyone wants, I want to get into all this sort of talk because
And I'm
this is
saying
the
that's
sort of
good
talk,
though.
this is what they
Good. I'm
want. Yeah,
saying
it's what they want. Yeah, but at the end of the day, people know not to trouble my community. Yeah, they know not to trouble my community. I'm not saying everyone in my community is perfect. People know not to fucking drag my community's been here a long time. They know not to try and drag my community into any shit. Yeah, do whatever you want. It makes no fucking difference anyway. We live how we live. We got our own issues. Yeah. So if they really, the education needs to be between the British people and the new arrivals. Yeah, they need to have their own little discourse. Do you know what I mean? Because this is what it seems like. It seems like it's between them and them trying to use the whole idea of, oh, you
it's
know,
not between them.
a rise in far right, whatever. Like it's anything new to us. You not think we grew up in the 80s and the 90s. It's nothing new to us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's not a thing you can use as a threat. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's not a thing you can use as a threat. Most of these people are keyboard warriors. Yeah, they're keyboard warriors anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm not bothered about, like I said, I'm not even that fussed about these people. I can see what's going on. It's a big distraction. Keep everyone fucking busy and distracted by bullshit politics of the UK. When actually people can just be getting on with stuff. You can actually
No,
be
but
getting on with
it's a distraction so that
things.
they can introduce it into government and just continue their game of power, isn't it?
So
So
that's
it's
how it goes.
yeah.
This is how it goes. This is England. You know what I mean?
Mm,
And I don't think nothing's going to change in that respect. I think there's always going to be that, whether it's big or small, it's always going to be there. Yeah. And I
mm.
don't mean it's just, it will get challenged. It gets challenged every step of the way. But for people believing that, politicians believing that they are our shield, well, at the end of the day, if they were our shield, they would have been in the field with us, front line, swinging weapons about. Do you know what I mean? These people within their suits would be swinging weapons about with us. Do you see what I'm saying? They would have been with my
Mm-mm.
elders, yeah, doing real things, yeah, back in the day. And that's
Mm-mm.
really what got things to calm down. So it's not to say that, oh, we have to go down that road again, but
Oh, got things to calm down then. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's how it got to where it is now.
But the
Where it is
difficulty
now,
with
I
that
don't
is,
I don't really care if people want to sit on the internet and fucking post racist remarks like cowards, right? Because that's the safest thing for them to do anyway.
but that's
Yeah.
not the issue. I'm saying the issue is introducing more systematic discrimination into policy and into government is the bigger issue because that's what's really going to impact the next generations in the future.
Yeah, but the reason why these things will get implemented is because what I was talking about the other day is the fact that a lot of British people feel that they are second class citizens in their own country and they're part of a two-tier system.
They've been
So
convinced that by the same people that
yeah,
are trying to control
I
this
hear that.
whole thing,
I
though.
hear that. But because they believe that, this is where a lot of these problems are going to stem from. A lot of these views are going to stem from because that's what they believe.
But
Um,
the truth
so,
is,
so
The truth
So
is
they
they
will
are.
demand.
The
Sorry,
truth is though, just to add, continue, but the truth is they are,
I know this.
but
I know
based
this,
on
and
class,
I'm gonna get to that as
but
well.
based on class, not based on racism.
Yeah, yeah,
Based on being
exactly. I'm
race.
gonna get to that as well. And
Mm.
yes, it's because they believe that they're second class citizens. So what they'll demand is an equality law that will push inequality on people that,
Others.
yeah. But like you said, these people are being treated like a second class citizen. But yeah, like you said, it's a class thing. And actually, these rich British people are not going to help. They don't care. So they're not going to help these
No.
people. When push comes to shove, they're not out here. Remember, people are looking out for their own interests. So don't even be fooled by even when people are sitting there going, "Oh, British people, we're all in this together." Mate, ain't no one in this fucking world. Everyone's motivated by fucking self-interest. If you can fucking convince some idiot to lend you his fucking loyalty to get what you need from him, then cool. But actually,
And to his loyalty.
every fucker in this world, yeah, is motivated by their fucking own self-interest. So any talk of unity is bullshit anyway. Yeah, but if you're stupid enough to fall for it, then cool, you've been mugged off. But that's why Tommy Robinson, we can't knock Tommy Robinson
He's a
because he's
hustler.
motivated by self-interest as well.
No, yeah, of course, he's a
And
big
everyone's
hustler.
stupid enough to buy into him. We can't knock him. Do you know what I mean? He's
No, I
doing
can
what
knock
every
him.
human
I can,
being
I can knock
is
him.
out
I
here
can knock
doing.
him out.
Huh?
I can knock him. I said I can knock him
You can
out.
do whatever you want to Tommy Robinson, but you just have to understand the bigger, Tommy Robinson has got he's doing what he's doing for to set himself and his family up because he knows
I'm
that's what needs
saying,
to
yeah,
be
yeah, yeah,
done.
I'm saying, but he's just, it's what I said about in the beginning about them other man. It's just a man capitalizing off of something.
Yeah, but you know what it
It's a
is.
business strategy.
Yeah, but it's not. You know what it is, right? You see when the world gets more and more crazy and the future looks more and more uncertain, you're going to see more and more people doing crash out things
Mm,
for get a load of money so that they can get their little bit of something out of the way. So when it kicks off and the rest, everyone else is there in the midst of it, they've fucking got their family out the way.
mm,
You know what I mean? And that's how you got to actually think in these times. You know what I mean? Like
mm.
in some ways, it might sound dark, but they've had to do what they've had to do because the government ain't going to do nothing for you, and even your fellow man probably ain't going to do nothing for you because
But they're not doing nothing for
people
you. They're
people
not doing nothing for anyone either, or
people can
themselves.
only
They're not doing anything either.
people can only unite under some bullshit. Look, people aren't even willing
They're
to
not
unite to
united
do
though.
something
There's
good.
nothing. There's
People,
nothing
look,
united in that
you
movement.
can't get 10 people together to build a house, yeah. You can get
Mm.
fucking 100,000 people to run through the streets pissed, high on cocaine, smashing things up,
Be
fighting with
racist.
police.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Under
that's
the
the
name of
reality.
racism.
That's the reality. That's what we're dealing with here. That's the
Mm-hmm.
reality. So when people let people think whatever they want, burn themselves out. Do you know what I mean? Just do it away from me.
But
You know
look,
what I mean?
do you know how it loops back round? It loops back round to the same thing that we've already established, that every single one of these movements and every single one of these things that they're doing, whatever they claim their agenda on, it all loops back to they're just trying to create a society where everything is in balance to them, and they can get away with control and nonsense. Like, because at the end of the day, all they're trying to do is make sure that they have, like, white people have more opportunities than everybody else. Yeah, they're trying to push everybody else out in this country. And when you look at it all, you're looking at Tommy Robinson as their leader, and with this whole going back to the Epstein thing, like I said, it's not something we have to talk about. But
Well, technically, like for
he's
argument's sake, yeah.
he's the guy Tommy Robinson's right there in all the papers.
I saw something on
No, Tommy Robinson is
channel.
mentioned. Like Jeremy Corbyn is mentioned in the Epstein files. Did you know that?
No,
Jeremy Corbyn is mentioned in the Epstein list.
like I said,
But let
I
me
have
tell
not
you, no, I'll tell you why. Because that's why this whole conspiracy thing of, oh my God, there's a list. This list for years is bullshit. I always said it. There's no fucking list. What do you mean list? Who keeps a list? They're talking about. They used to talk about it like it was his little black book, of all his nonce
yeah.
clients. Like who keeps one of those? It's not a list. There was no list. And now the list that they're producing is because this concept of a list has gone on for so long. They're now producing a list
Made one up.
based on something completely different,
Yeah,
based on all of the names mentioned in his court papers. Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah,
all of
yeah.
the names. This is for hundreds and hundreds of thousands of documents. and it's just names that were mentioned in his emails because they went
Yeah,
through his
yeah.
emails. So
So
you
true.
could be in there. So yes, Jeremy Corbyn's name is in the Epstein list, which is insane. Someone said that to me yesterday, so I looked it up. I went, oh yeah, it's in there because it's in there once because Epstein wrote an email to someone and said, if Jeremy Corbyn becomes prime minister, we're running away to Portugal.
Yeah,
So his name is in there because Epstein said something negative about him in
yeah,
fear
yeah, yeah,
of
yeah,
him
yeah,
becoming, in fear of someone on the left wing side of the political spectrum coming into power and how that would impact him and his paedophile ring. And this goes straight back round to the fact that being right wing and being a paedophile is irremovable. You can't even have one without the other.
yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So and then Tommy Robinson is mentioned in the files. It's not mentioned because he was at the island, but Tommy Robinson is mentioned in the files for the same reason. It's emails where Epstein wrote to other people, "Yeah, this Tommy guy is great. We should get behind him. We should get him into office," and
Yeah.
etc. I mean, I'm paraphrasing. I'm not saying he specifically said that, but it was with some kind of aide of Donald Trump was having emails with Epstein, and they were talking about, yeah, we should push this Tommy Robinson guy. Like he should be doing, we should back him. He's all right. So again, it shows that the right being a right winger, in that sense,
Yeah, but
you're
I
friend,
think
you're, you're friends with and supported by Nazis. They love you.
yeah, but it's always I think even ultimately like people have to just let go of their political allegiances, because as long as people
What
hold on to
political
their
allegiances, though?
political
What do you mean?
allegiances, there's always going to be accusations of noncery from the other side. You know what I mean? You know what I
Yeah, but
mean?
none of us need to have political allegiance to any kind of. I've never had a political allegiance in my life. I know you see me be involved in politics, but I never had a political
Yeah, but
allegiance to anybody.
that is a political allegiance.
No, it's not.
It
It's
is.
not.
You cannot
It's
be
not.
involved with a political party and not have a political allegiance.
Yeah, I get what you're
If
saying.
I, if I
Cool.
if I started working with the Tory party, even if I just did
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah,
because
cool.
they paid me,
Yeah, yeah.
I'd
But
still be a
no,
political
no,
allegiance.
you're right. It's fair, but it's semantics. It's fair, but it's semantics.
It's
Like
not
I,
semantics. It's
no,
not.
it is because I don't because am I here? Am I do I have an allegiance with the Labour Party now?
No,
Does Corbyn?
no.
So then what does it matter?
But even still,
It's the
it's
past.
still allegiance to a political
No,
ideology,
but for me at that time it was an allegiance to an action
which was
that
tied to a
that fitted the
political
time.
ideology. It was tied to a political ideology. There
No, no,
was
yeah, political ideology is fine. We all have political ideology, whether you know it or not, or whether you like it or not. You have political ideology. I have political
not a
ideology.
mainstream one.
Yeah, because there is only one mainstream political ideology, and that's right wing capitalism. There is no other political ideology as an option out here. We're trying to change that. The people who are trying to get involved in politics from the left, I want to change that. But realistically, the only mainstream political ideology is capitalism.
Yeah,
So cool. My political ideology is different to that, and there's people in that system who might have lean more to mine. The funny thing is I've supported Jeremy Corbyn. I've supported that's the only main person, but I've supported some things in politics that I thought lean towards what I believe enough. But I'm actually way more of an anarchist in my political ideology
yeah. But
than I
even
am any of
we've even
even what
learned
they
that
believe.
anarchy is a red flag,
Not really,
and
not as an
and
ideology.
oh, mate, I think it is,
No,
and
it's
and
not.
not only that, I get a red flag for myself for including the anarchy symbol in one of my albums, maybe like
Yeah, I've got it on
many
a
years
t-shirt
ago.
I'm putting out. No, yeah, but you're probably talking about something that's been done under the name. There's not like as a concept, like ideologically, it's more what I think, but it's not. I mean, anarchy is not. It's not an ongoing. It's not the settled state of ideology, or political ideology either. It's an action to get somewhere in it. Um, I think so anyway. Probably don't know enough, but yeah, I'm
Yeah,
saying that.
I used to think that anarchism was cool,
Yeah,
um, but then the more people that I met who identified as anarchists,
yeah, but they're not real.
a lot of
Then what?
them,
That's people who use things for to mask.
yeah, but what is a real anarchist? Who is an example of a real anarchist?
Um, well, I'm not talking about being real in that sense. I'm talking about we started speaking about ideology
Yeah,
and saying that everyone has a political ideology of some sort.
Oh, right, yeah.
I'm saying you have a political ideology. You're saying not a mainstream one. My actual political ideology is not mainstream either. It's very far from mainstream.
Mm,
And then obviously I started saying that the only mainstream ideology is something quite right wing.
mm, mm. Yeah, yeah,
So whatever we like it or not, we all impact politics as well. And you can go, oh, yeah, I don't want to get involved in it. I don't want to do this, and I don't want to vote. And like I said, that's to the beginning. Yeah, I don't think I will. I haven't voted since the Corbyn thing. It's the only time I've really voted in my life.
yeah.
Um, I don't think I didn't vote in that election the other day. Even though Keir Starmer was my local MP and I could have wanted to get him out. I didn't. I went to the thing. I wrote "suck your mum" on the ballot. I went
Oh
there and
my God.
didn't you see my video?
I think I did see that
I
actually.
spoiled my ballot. I thought, let me go there and spoil my paper at least so that it goes on record. Because as long as you spoil it, they have to list how many got spoiled, innit? But
Suck
most
it.
people just put an X through it, or they write nothing, and they
Yeah,
wrote none of the above.
yeah,
So
but
I
I
wrote
think,
"suck your
yeah, but
mum."
me personally, the way I look at it, yeah, is if it's got to the point where people are going to the ballot box and writing "suck your mum" on a bit of paper, I think at that point we can agree politics just is not for us. You know,
No,
what I mean? If
no,
it got
but
to
that's
that,
the whole point of doing it.
we've
That's the
given it
point of
so many
doing it.
chances. It got to the point, man's actually saying "suck your mum." Like,
Yeah,
do you
yeah.
know what I mean? At this point, no, not to say that the system should collapse. I think all these politics should continue. People should continue doing whatever they want, but there should be a set amount of people. It would be good if there was a set amount of people who just did their own thing and just became self-sufficient and self-reliant without these people, because these people are fucking everyone up, and everyone becomes reliant on them and puts their faith in them. It just ends up more fucked up than before. And everyone I've known who's voted, not one single person's ever come up to me and gone, "Oh, you see, when I voted in that fucking 1991 elections, look at me now." Do you know what I mean? Everyone I know who's voted, yeah, has because every year I see them, they're looking more and more broken.
I'll tell you why that is. Shall I tell you why that is, Tara?
Right.
Because the people that you know are not
People I know.
the people that you know are mostly not on the side who's been controlling the vote in all these years and are not the rich people who convinced everyone. They're not like even if they're conservatives, they're dumb conservatives that have been brainwashed just to
Well, I
uphold
know a
their
load of I
enemies'
know a load of
power.
Labour voters, bro. Just remember that.
What?
I know a load of
No, of course, but I'm saying
former Labour
Labour
voters, Corbyn
voters,
voters,
that Labour
Corbyn
vote.
voters.
No, but I'm saying Labour voters are not going to come and tell you that either because
Well,
where's the success come out of it for anybody other than the elite who are already there? No,
I know a load of people that voted.
the entire system has been skewed to benefit people who are the rich already. So of course you'll never see no one going, oh yeah, look what I got out of
So
that.
what the fuck are they doing it for?
They were trying to stop that, but no, most of them are not. Most of them are actually being brainwashed to try and uphold it.
Fuck, man. This is what I'm saying. We need to stop this. Like, actually, you know what it is? Sorry, I shouldn't even say that. I got to stop trying to speak for everyone else. I would say I got to stop this, but I never started it.
You never started, so you're all right.
Thank God I never got involved with all this stuff. Like literally, thank God, because
But I'm
thank
saying,
God that my faith and my hopes are linked to like other things than this circus.
but in 4 years' time, we are very likely at risk of introducing a reform government to this country because people have been convinced that that is the thing to do and that's the thing that will save them. And it's going to make things a lot worse.
Mm,
So
mm, mm.
your answer ain't going to stop that either.
Why? Sorry, so I didn't hear that.
I'm saying in 4 years' time, these people who have been convinced to vote, even next generations of people,
Yeah.
that it's quite a risk. They're going to introduce a reform government in 4 years' time in this country, and it's going to have a devastating impact.
Mm,
It's already fucked, but it will get worse.
mm,
And this ain't just to do with like thugs in the street. This is to do with everyone's pockets.
mm.
This is the Conservative Party 2.0, if we just want to look at it as far as austerity and financial impact. They're going to do the worst things. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They're going to take away support for the disabled and
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying? And line their pockets even more. Do you know what I'm saying?
So
Like,
this
this is
is
just
why.
another.
Do you see why people need to get behind bad slave Nova? Even you. This is why
Yeah, but
people need to get behind bad slaves so we can do more for the communities
yeah, I agree with you.
rather than
I agree. No, I really
worry
agree with your point as well.
about what we know they're gonna do. Yeah.
Mm.
You know what I mean? We can do more for the communities. This is what.
And I
This is
agree with
why.
that.
This is why I didn't want to talk about all them people from Dorset because this is what. Remember, those are all rich kids, bruv.
Yeah,
They're rich kids. They're fucking immune. Whatever happens, they're immune from it. Yeah. So I
yeah.
didn't want to get involved in them because remember they like to push the division. They would have us all beefing if they could. Yeah.
Mm.
So that anything goes mad in the country, everyone's. Do you know what I mean? When you got good networks and you got things going on, you can always step in. Do you know what I mean? You can always step in, and that's what people need to understand. They got a lot more power than the politicians. The politicians don't actually have any power. Politicians are actually taking money from you. So how is that fucking doing you anything?
What do you mean,
Like
politicians?
it's just
What?
taking money from you and
Yeah.
lying in their pockets. You're not getting anything in return from it. Don't be
No, no, of
fooled.
course.
You're getting nothing in return. Absolutely nothing. Just by a load of talk. Getting a load of talk from these people. So,
Mm.
do you know what I mean? That's why a lot of people are like, yeah, let's just vote reform, get a load of immigrants booted out of the country. They just want to see anything happen. Do you know what I
That
mean?
ain't even really
Bringing
gonna
out
happen. That
people.
ain't even really gonna. That's not even gonna really happen
I know it's not going to happen. It's too
other than
expensive.
other than on a performative level.
Of course.
It's bollocks. It's marketing. Because
Of
at the
course.
end of the day, they already all voted for Brexit, for the same reasons. And look, it didn't happen, did it? So we're just here again. They just remixed it,
Mm, mm,
and now
mm.
they're trying to push it through again. The
Yeah.
only thing, the only thing that I think could prevent um, a reform government. Obviously, I'm not. We don't have to get into my politics. It's a whole different thing. Obviously, Jeremy Corbyn's got his new party or whatever, and that's
Was it
bubbling.
called the U Party?
It's
Was
called
it
Your
called
Party.
Your Party? Your Party.
Yeah, so that's bubbling. Don't get me wrong. I think that could have impact. But there was a by-election the other day. There's also the rise of the Green Party. So I think we could end up with a Green Party government, maybe with a coalition with Labour, which is like, well, then what the fucking point is that in that? We've just got Labour again. So
I
bollocks.
think. I think if Jeremy Corbyn had did his own party in the first place,
Yeah,
maybe that
yeah.
might have been the thing because I
A
find that
bit earlier would have helped. That
the
would have been
problem with
better.
Corbyn he had at the time of his election when there was is he had a lot of people leave his party.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a lot of people leave his party because of the whole anti-Semitism thing. You understand?
What do you mean? They
Because
because they believed it.
yeah, well, they didn't believe it, but they were, people are like sheep, wasn't it? So Labour's always had a core. Labour's always had a lot of Jewish voters, and
But the actual most Jewish people knew that's not true. And
I know this, but
bro, Corbyn lives in North
I
London, bro.
understand when it comes to donors and people at the top, when people, you
Yeah, no,
understand,
they're not leaving. Even them, they're not doing it because they think it's true. They're just doing it because they're actually right wing. That's all. They
yeah,
It's an excuse.
that's well, either way, they
Well, Jeremy Corbyn is from North London, bro. Do you know how
yeah.
much Jewish people are in his
Bruv,
community
I'm not
as
even going to
well?
get into the slander in the tabloids. You know what I mean? Mine,
Yeah,
I'm
but
not
anyway,
like
my point is, yeah, there's, you know, yeah, maybe should have done that around then, but cool, he's doing something now, and there is going to be something in it. Um, I think we're going to have the first election in 4 years' time in this country that's ever not been just those main two parties that were playing pantomime with us our whole lives.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
that's for sure. But I do think that the two parties who are going to be at the front of it now are kind of just going to be remixed versions in a way anyway, and just giving us more narrative. And it's going to be maybe Reform and the Green Party at the front of the
So
election.
so there we go. So there's nothing in it for us. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
There's nothing in it for us. There's no we have no business voting for Reform or Green Party. Understand,
Yeah.
people? This is a sign that there's nothing in it for you.
And do you know what, Tara, do you know what I'll say to you? Just talking on this, I'm going to actually lean more to support of what you've been saying a long time. And this is the first time I think it's actually true. And I want to be like delicate here in that some of these people, I fuck with them, yeah? But I think they've been a bit brainwashed. There is a push right now from our community and from even like musicians that we know and stuff like that to push to vote and support the Green Party.
Yeah, there's no
And there's
surprise.
like, no, there's a rapper who we all know. I'm not going to say his name, whatever, people will see it, whatever. I've got nothing but respect for this guy and his content um, from Brighton, who's a famous artist. And, he's an amazing guy, cool. But he's doing content with the leader of the Green Party and really pushing like this is the answer. And I do feel like it is. like it has been controlled somewhere along the line, and I think the right have decided to
Infiltrate the Green Party.
to secretly back the Green Party
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
back,
yeah.
make it look like Jeremy Corbyn on the front, make it
Control the
look marketed,
competition. Yes.
control them. And I think it's too much coincidence that the Green Party suddenly had a new leader who spoke really well about left-wing issues at the same time that Jeremy Corbyn started his own party. I think the entire point was like, no, 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 Jeremy Corbyn's going to get way too powerful with this party. We need to counter it right now. And I think the right are pulling strings in the Green Party and may help push it through. Also to prevent reform because they don't really want
Well, look at this. Oh, yeah,
really
I've just
want
I've just pulled up a list of who's supporting the Green Party.
yeah, 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 because you wanted to know what I'm talking about.
We got Rizzle Kicks. Yeah,
Right,
big them up still.
pick them up.
We got Plan B.
I didn't know that.
Um,
Pick them up.
a load of other people. I don't know who they are. Um,
Yeah, but there's a push.
Angus McAlpine.
Mm.
See, right?
There's a
Angus.
lot.
He sounds like a rapper who was born to vote for the Green Party. To be honest, you know, he sounds like a Scottish rapper who's out in the Highlands and he wants to preserve. You know what I mean? He wants to preserve the Scottish rural area. Do you know what I mean? This is what he sounds. I don't know who he is. But he's up there with the
And
Green
don't get me
Party.
wrong, like I really like um, what's going on with the Green Party on the surface of it, but I don't trust it. So I'm saying like Zach Polanski, the new leader of the Green Party, he's an amazing speaker. He's saying all the things I want to hear,
Yeah.
but then he's also saying that he will do a coalition with the Labour Party if he needs to keep out reform, and that just goes against everything.
Do you know the Green Party? Are they linked to Greenpeace?
I don't know if they are directly, but obviously they have a lot of environmental issues at the front of what they do. But
Yeah.
he's been saying, environmental issues can't exist and be supported without social issues, and he's been pushing a lot on, real social issues that I would say people need to care about. But the thing with the Green Party is they're basically pushing a packaged version of socialism right now, but they're not really a socialist party, and they're quite middle class. So
Hmm.
it just doesn't add up,
Yeah.
and it just
Well,
feels very controlled.
yeah.
And I'm not, don't get me wrong, if it comes to it, I'm gonna go, all right, cool. It will be a time I'd go, all right, better them than the other side. But
Lesser of two evils, eh?
yeah, but like, I've not subscribed to that narrative in a long time. Like I don't subscribe, I haven't, not in our lives really, because it's been Labour, a very right wing version of Labour, and that don't sit with me. So yeah, I'm not really with it, and it's very, 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 very. If you go to any of Jeremy Corbyn's posts or your party posts, they are littered, bro. They are littered with comments saying vote green. And when you go and I've done it, I've tested it, and when you go and interact with those comments, they end up being reform voters. So
Mm.
reform people are going on posts about Jeremy Corbyn's party and saying vote green.
Yeah, but you know how I feel about all these people. I
Mm.
feel like these are the sort of people we need to ignore. Like all them people that are out there fucking going, like everyone who's going to the fucking ballot box. Yeah, we need to make a note of these people and just ignore them. Just literally
It's too
ignore
much. You
them.
can't
Like
ignore that many
delete
people.
them from. Don't say hi
Yeah.
to them. Just ignore them. Act like they don't fucking exist and just get on without them. Do you know what I mean? Like anyone who's doing anything like that, just get on without them. Like just fucking live life without them. Like
Mm.
fucking getting dragged into their depressing fucking hell. Like imagine that. There's not even right now, they're not even like voting, like excited about anything. It's just like, oh mate, who are we gonna fucking vote for? Like it's got to
Nah,
a point where politics has
I'm not.
never been more fucking depressing.
I'm not going to speak about like we're just speaking because we're speaking about this in the way it relates to the other things we've said on this conversation. But I'm not going to come on your podcast and speak what I want to do and what I'm excited about in politics because you're not the guy for it. You know what I'm saying? But I have joined Jeremy Corbyn, your party. Yeah, I'm a member. Um, there's a faction within it called the Many, which is Jeremy Corbyn's kind of core team and a group of other people who are pushing a certain slate of people to be put into certain positions. And then like there's other people within the party who've got their people that they're pushing because there's a voting system going on of how the party is going to
Yeah.
structure, right? So I'm in the WhatsApp group. Oh my God, like
Mm-mm.
it's insane. Yeah, so I am. at some point gonna get much more involved in that. But let me not say too much and wait and see what happens. And I've put my, you know, I put, I've contacted people that are high up in that organization, that movement there, and already touched base on a couple of things about helping with content
It's
and
a good thing we
engaging
got
young
you on here
people.
now, then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because in a couple of months' time, it might be a different story. Do you know what I mean?
I realize I can't be the person to do certain things, and maybe I should just say fuck it and just do it. But I'm realizing sometimes I speak on things and I don't care. I don't give a damn that, like I said at the beginning, that I'm just coming from a hood perspective sometimes. But like, you know, I'm a madman in a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm,
and have been in my life, have been reckless and mad and like, what? How the hell am I the person to speak on that? I
yeah,
don't think I could go into politics. I can't go and be a local where they rip me to pieces. You know what I'm saying? Like, look what they done to Corbyn, like a law-abiding,
yeah.
good
Oh my
human
God,
being.
yeah.
Yeah, like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, so if I was in that kind of like actual, so I don't think I can really be. Otherwise, I would. I'd go and be a local councillor or whatever. Like, I'll be in the newspaper. Like, they'll be pulling out my lyrics and going, "He said what?" Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so I come from madness. We come from madness where we kind of had to like we were in full survival mode, dealing with all sorts of nonsense and not really, you know. Luckily,
We're, we're, we're,
luckily we are intelligent and we
we're
come
from,
through it.
but it is, we come from the real London.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we're not
exactly.
from a sheltered part of London or a
Yeah, yeah,
sheltered
yeah,
community or a sheltered, I mean, we come
yeah,
from,
yeah.
we've experienced real life on the ground.
Mm.
Yeah, to the point where, our environment, it embodies. That's why, I always support you when you're talking about equality and stuff, because we come from an environment where from early on we learned to just tolerate everybody, because we got all kinds of people around us. We got people from this country, people not from this country.
Or like racially, etc. Yeah, yeah.
We got people who want to. We got grown men who want to dress up in fishnets tights on a Monday morning. Do you know what I mean? We got it
Walking
all.
up the high road and that.
We got everything there. At the end of the day, we got mad men shouting in the streets. We got
Yeah.
we got everything. So
We
at the end
learned,
of
yeah,
the day,
very tolerant. That's
it's
yeah,
not. It's well. For us, it's not a case that we're going to be walking down the road and see someone and be like, "Oh,
yeah.
you know what I mean?" We've seen it all already. You know what I mean? And that's
No,
kind of
I'll even add to that, and it's an interesting thing I've been thinking about recently. Is even someone put made a video that boxer guy or whatever. He made a video saying that most people are not really on what Tommy Robinson's on, and most Muslims are cool with Christians and cool with white people and cool. Then actually, most of them are just cool. And I didn't comment in the end, but I thought you could even extend that to the point that even the racist people on the end, like the racist guy on the estate,
yeah, yeah,
or the whole group of them are down the pub every day, and they actually like football nutters and love to drink, and their thoughts are actually racist. They still got like Muslims, black guys. Like in London, out of London is different, but in London and in the major cities, if they live on an estate, they're still cool with their neighbor who is a black guy who they've known their whole life. They're actually all right with each other, and he knows he's a racist. But that's why sometimes like I see Young Spray like interviewing Tommy Robinson and
yeah, yeah,
people are
yeah.
coming for him and all of that, and he calls out racism, he calls out Islamophobia. He's a Muslim. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm,
But day to day, he's like, yeah, that's how it is around here, and that guy, he's my neighbor. You know, like you know what I'm saying, there's actually even a level of them racist people get on with other people day to day in
they
London.
do.
They do, like,
They
and
do.
I do. And when I thought about this, I thought I have known racist white people my whole life, and yeah, I challenged them when we was in conversations at school, on my estate, whatever. But I know those people too, and they know me. They don't respect my reviews. I've got loads of them on my Facebook. They see what I write, but I might see man at the shop in Finsbury Park and be like, "Oh, what's going on? How's the kids?" Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Like
Mm,
in a normal thing, when you're actually interacting with a person, you don't go into that war mode.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're just kind of like, yeah,
Well,
what you're
my
saying.
my my whole thing is this: like, I know a lot of people's. I live in southwest of England, bruv. You get me?
Mm,
So I know a lot of people's views. We have conversations about all sorts of stuff, yeah.
mm,
But my whole thing is, I say to people, like, be careful of saying some of your things in public,
Yeah.
Understand? The same way I said like to that idiot that was making the silver jewelry. Yeah. Remember, I identified quite early on there's something not right with this person. Yeah, but I need to use him. Yeah, I was like, I need to use this prick. Yeah, but at the end of the day, he needed to keep his mouth shut. You understand? I've had a few situations like that. My EP that I made, the guy who made the EP, like big him up still in it, yeah, because he's my guy, right? But it was very important he stayed out of the public eye. Very not because of
Really,
racism or nothing like that, but I'm just you understand. It was very important he stayed out of the public eye, or he would have caused brand damage.
really.
And that's the same thing with all of this. Any bullshit people get out, caught out
Now,
saying.
do you know, I realized that about a producer I've worked with recently all my whole life. It's someone, he's one of the man that looks he's one of us, like really. And
Mm,
I just noticed, he's a bit dragged into the whole, not red pill. I don't want to say red pill or manosphere, but like, the people, they're a bit caught into that side of the internet and they like Elon Musk a bit. People are into crypto. Crypto's full of
yeah,
this thing because
crypto's mad.
they think the crypto space. I was into crypto for a bit and making money and stuff. Yeah, so I was in these
But
discords and
the crypto crew is mad.
yeah, because they think Elon Musk and Donald Trump are gonna
Yeah,
save them or whatever.
yeah,
But
yeah.
and they do follow things they say, and it does have an impact and help them make money or whatever. But so there's a producer who I'm thinking of who's a bit caught into that, and but he is actually yeah, he's one of the man them really. But I'll have them conversations with him in private. Mm.
Yeah, man. But yeah, my battery's running a bit low, so I might have
We've
to.
done pretty good there, mate.
Yeah, I might have to end it before it shuts off and I can't get back in.
What are you saying? Is that the end of the season?
It's the end. It's end of season one.
When season two?
Boy, we don't know yet. We don't know, man. It's been a bit of a mad one. This whole thing has been very mad because I never was, I'm not that big on this whole internet thing yet. I only started making content on this channel because obviously I updated my website. I've got all the icons for all the different pages, and I didn't even have hardly anything on my Instagram. So I started putting things on the Instagram, started putting things on the TikTok, making content for the YouTube, and obviously it's going where it's going, in it. And obviously, I know you're starting your thing up very soon as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
might do it this weekend, man. Within
Uh,
the next week,
all
I'm
right.
gonna do something.
Yeah. Seen.
So yeah, Flip Life Media, fliplife.co.uk. I'm gonna relaunch UK Legends series. I'm gonna do a lot more music-based stuff as well. There's less, so maybe a bit less of the confrontational, like war mode. I'm gonna still do social justice warrior as well. But
Yeah.
so yeah, we'll all be back, man. I'm saying, and I think you should keep doing what you're doing here, and don't give it too much of a break because
It
it's
won't be too long.
consistency will will build a
Yeah.
channel and you got something here. But I gave you the warning already. Understand? Don't don't be Joe Rogan.
Oh shit. Oh
Yeah,
shit.
because at least Rise Above, without I know at least they clearly do take a right wing line, and they wanted to deny that for so long. And now it's clear. It's clear they're on that side. But if you pretend you're not gonna take a line of where you are, because most people are kind of brainwashed into being aligned with some form of right-wing ideology, even the people who we call truthers, we've established this, and you're
Yeah,
going to get a
yeah.
lot of them people on your show who probably have something good to say about diet or about something that they're into.
But I'm not having no man
Yes,
talking about his veganism on here, bruv.
still,
And
no,
that
just
we
saying as all right, exercise, whatever, like whatever their topic may be, martial arts, because that community is so aligned with right wing things, you're gonna like Joe Rogan tries to claim that he has both sides on, but the
yeah,
difference is he doesn't like he has more of the right wing side, and he naturally
yeah.
only he doesn't really challenge the right wing guys. And like you had quite a right wing, I'm going to call him right wing. It's a bit of a mental thing to say, but he's just very misogynist. And he's actually, no, he did start saying anti immigration nonsense. So you had someone I'm going to have to say is quite right wing, although he wouldn't call himself that on your show the other day.
I wouldn't say it was right wing.
No, but he said
And
extremely
in
right
all,
wing
in all
things.
fairness, you know
No,
what?
he said extremely right wing things. And what I'm
Huh?
saying is you
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
challenge him.
But
But when I'm here, no, because this is what I'm
point,
saying.
the point he made was a fair point.
No, it wasn't. It
It
was
was a
just a
fair
very right
point.
wing
It
point.
was
It
a
was a
fair
very
point
right
he
wing
made.
point. No, it was a
Huh?
very uneducated point.
No, it wasn't.
It was a
Why?
very uneducated point that didn't actually wasn't true and didn't make sense. If we're really going to discuss it, I'm not going to bring up the point and explain it, and
All
I'll
right
break
then.
that down for you in private. But the point is, he came and he made a very right wing point, and you sat there going,
No, 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 no.
yeah,
It
yeah,
was a fair point. It was a fair point. I asked a question,
and then
and he gave a fair point, and he gave
when
a well,
when
he
I
gave a
come,
well
no, he didn't. No,
explained
he had a
answer.
no. I don't know if we're speaking about the same point or not because there's been a few, but he rambled on about some fake stuff about the same thing, like about immigrants are getting housed and I can't get housed. Yeah,
The, we was yeah, but we have been yeah,
that
but
wasn't
we
a
have
fair
been trying.
point.
Well, you know what it is, Nova. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, right?
That
See,
wasn't a fair point. It was
I've
rambling.
actually, no, listen, I've made a point, right, of not having truthers and these sorts of people on my show, not because I don't want to, because I've been dealing with a lot of dishonesty from this side of things. So I'm like, you know what, we can't if we can't have a fair conversation, we ain't. I'm just not going to have them on there. Full stop. Yeah,
Hmm.
that conversation there, is fair point.
No, it's
You
not
know
a
what I
fair
mean?
point.
It was a
What a
fair
fair
point
point?
because
A fair point to
he wasn't coming from a standpoint of a British nationalist. He was
no,
coming
but he was
from a
coming from a point
standpoint.
of being misinformed and uneducated.
No, no, not necessarily.
What is, so you're claiming
But,
okay, so you're
but
no, let's pull up. So you're claiming that asylum seekers get priority housing.
no, but this is something I've been trying to establish through having different conversations with people. I tried
So
to
you're not
establish
sure.
it from the
You
right
haven't
wing
worked it out
people,
yet.
but I was getting pure dishonesty from them. So you know what I mean. So it will.
But
It
so
will
you're saying no, because he made the point that
yeah.
asylum seekers are coming into the country, foreigners, and like getting better treatment than British people.
Yeah.
And that's just that.
I would agree. I would agree with that. I would
Well, oh,
agree
you
with
know
that.
that. Well, that's
No, listen,
nonsense.
I would agree with this, yeah, because I would agree
That's
with it. Not,
factually
not,
incorrect.
not to be problematic, yeah, but we, like, as in the Caribbean community, we already know this.
That's
We've already
factually
known
incorrect.
this. We've already
That's
known that
factually incorrect.
as British Caribbean people, we've already know no matter who
Factually
comes into
incorrect.
the
How
country
much,
is going to
bro?
get better treatment than us. So it's
That's
no big
factually
surprise
incorrect.
for us. Yeah.
What you think British Caribbean people ain't bought property in this
No, no,
country
no,
and
no, no,
doing
no. I
their
didn't say
thing?
that. I didn't say that.
Yeah.
I did not say that.
Let's not
I
talk
didn't say that.
nonsense.
I
Yeah.
didn't say that. I didn't say British Caribbean people aren't doing well.
Yeah.
I said when it comes down to it, when it comes down to favoritism, every British Caribbean person should know by now that they're not that high up on the list anyway. So they're not that
But
high up
there's
on the
nothing
list.
on that. There's nothing on that list. Of course, there's racism involved
Listen,
when you fill out these forms. But
British
there's nothing
Caribbean
on this
people,
list
bro,
that would separate.
British Caribbean people at the bottom of the pile,
I'm
right?
saying there
Comes
isn't
down,
something on that
they
list
have to
that
make their own
there
opportunities.
isn't something in that list that categorizes priority based on being British Caribbean in comparison to being British white or in comparison to being an asylum seeker who just got here. There's no priority basis in the system that exists based on that. And I'm not saying there isn't any factors to it that can happen
Yeah.
discrimination wise, but it's just not true that and you're saying more than British people. You're not just saying if you're just saying more than
I'm not
British
saying
Caribbean
more than
people,
British people or less than British people. I'm just speaking from so where he's
Caribbean.
speaking from a
I hear that.
Caribbean perspective,
Yeah.
I can relate to what he's saying.
So
Now,
are
I
you
can't,
telling me because I haven't watched obviously I
I,
ain't watched the whole. But let
I
me
can't
ask you though,
speak
I
from
ain't
a
watched
white
the whole
British
episode.
perspective.
Are you saying that he basically his point? Because I ain't watched the whole episode. Are you saying that his point was about British Caribbean people specifically as well, and that he wasn't saying asylum seekers get better priority than all British people?
Not necessarily, not specifically. You could look at it as a general point, but it's
So are
from
you? Do you think the asylum seekers, yeah, once they're granted asylum, walk into a housing office and fill out the housing form and are given a
bro,
priority
bro,
based
I
on
don't know
being
what. As
an
far as
asylum
what do
seeker?
I think, I have no idea.
But I can tell you now that in that system, they don't get any priority.
I didn't say they did, but I have no idea how I was.
Yeah,
What I was trying to establish, yeah, where I've been talking to different people,
yeah.
is how it works. Like, does a man just get off a dinghy boat, turn up at the housing office? Because you got to remember,
No,
I've got one man telling me cash, mobile phone,
I could tell you now. I could tell you all of those
driving
answers now.
lessons.
I can answer all them questions pretty much
Yeah, okay.
about how it works. So I've only studied this quite a bit recently since this whole thing as well because I wanted to know how it works. So I looked into it. Yeah, I don't know everything. Don't get me wrong, I can't tell everything, but all the things you just touched on. So when like a boat comes into this country of people in it, they have to go and declare themselves to the Home Office, I believe, right?
Yeah,
So they're
yeah.
going to declare themselves to the Home Office. They don't turn it to the housing. Those hotels that they put in have nothing to do with the local council and the House Office. They're controlled by the Home Office.
Home Office control the hotels.
So
Okay.
there's a budget for that because
Okay.
legally we have a
Mm.
responsibility, as we should,
Yeah, yeah.
to make sure people are not in danger and that
Okay.
while
So
they're here, we
okay.
have a system to
So they
process.
put them in the hotel.
So they put them in the hotel. And you know the reason they put them in the hotels? It's the lowest level or form of housing that exists.
Mm.
British people, and this is why his point about British people are treated better is bullshit, are treated worse. British people who get put in a hotel, and I know this gets broken, yeah, cool.
Yeah,
British people end up in hotels for ages as well because the
yeah,
system's fucked. But on paper, British people are not allowed to be put in a hotel for emergency accommodation for more than 6 weeks because it is not considered a suitable, safe way of living
yeah.
because you go mad.
But then there is a lot of I see in my
But
own experience a lot of homeless British people. A
yeah,
lot of
yeah.
homeless British
How
people.
many do you think there are?
I think there's fucking loads of British
How many?
people.
Because we could look up the number.
How many homeless people do I think there is in Britain?
Yeah.
Um, I think there's in the hundreds of thousands.
No, there's not. We're gonna look it up now. There's nothing like that.
How
And I'm
many
not
is
saying there is a huge homelessness problem. I agree with you, but it like
I think it's
it's
huge.
during COVID they've actually ended homelessness, and that actually happened. No one was
Yeah,
homeless in
okay.
COVID,
All
but
right.
it went back to that because it's a whole. We can't. It's difficult to get into that whole conversation. I agree with you, though. That needs addressing, but it doesn't correlate with this conversation. It's not actually.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
of
that
course.
level
But
of.
people aren't going to see that. Your average person's not going to see all of this, what you've said. All they're going to
Yeah.
see is man sleeping in a sleeping bag, veteran
No,
sleeping
no,
in
you're right. You know, it is
served,
hundreds. It
served
is
this
hundreds of thousands.
country,
But I was thinking. I
served
think.
this country. Now he's
I think
sleeping
last
in
time
a
I looked it up,
fucking
it was
doorway.
I
And
was
all they're
looking
seeing
at
is a next
London or
man.
whatever.
This is what I'm saying. What I'm saying. So they're listen. This is what I'm saying. So they're veterans sleeping in the doorway, served this country,
Yeah.
got PTSD, end up on drink and drugs, no help. Right, that's how it looks. Right, and then they're seeing next
But
man.
most of them, yeah, no, but nobody's getting help. It's not
Yeah,
like that.
but they're looking at the man in the hotel thinking he's getting more help than me. He's a fucking buffet food. He's looking at him helping himself
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
buffet, thinking fucking
But it's
hell.
designed like that. You know, like the meme of the cookie. You know, like the meme with like, oh, that
I know
guy.
that, but what I'm saying
Yeah.
is expecting that man on the streets to have the higher understanding of everything that's going on whilst
No,
he's hungry,
agreed.
cold,
Agreed.
and
But what I'm
desperate,
saying though,
and then
that guy.
expecting him, you know,
That's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying though, that guy on your podcast the other day, he's that guy on the streets who doesn't understand. Then that's my point. He was uneducated because his opinion was as stupid as that guy in the street. Who's Don't get me wrong, that
you
guy
need
in the
to be
street has
more
been under.
specific on the point, because if you mean like, okay, when he said should a British should non British criminals be punished harsher than British criminals or whatever, that's
Did he say yes?
that's a fair point.
Did he say
That's
they should?
it's not necessarily my opinion, but
What's
it's
a
still
fair point?
It's still a fair point.
What is?
It's still a fair point. What he
I don't know
put
the point. You
forward.
haven't said it. Repeat the point.
What he said. What he said. He
You don't
said,
even want to say it.
should non-British criminals be punished harder
What's
than
the
British
answer?
criminals?
You said the question, but what's the answer? The point
That's
has to
what
be
he
answered.
said. He
said
said
the question. You said the question, or you said the answer.
No, that was basically the title of the clip that I made.
So was he saying they should or they shouldn't?
They should, because yeah. But it's still a fair point.
Let's pull it back.
That's fair.
No. Let's pull that back. So should like British?
I brought the question. I think I brought the
Caribbean
question
people fall into that, or should they all at that time when Caribbean people came to this country?
Well,
I mean, there's many reasons to why I say why not.
If they did have that,
because it probably did happen. It did happen though.
It
did, because it wasn't in policy, but it was.
But what happened? What happened with it? See, with the Caribbeans, yeah, most of the political, what were they? They were political exiles, yardies. They come over in the 80s, yeah. Now that would have been the point where you should have cracked down.
I'm saying, you said they should have stopped. You should have said
that's the point. They should have cracked down at that point. But where they cracked down on the Jamaican.
Why are you having a right wing crash out right?
No, I'm not having. I'm just giving you.
You're having a right wing crash out against immigration right at the end.
But obviously, as far as the policies that were made, that targeted the Windrush generation, was completely had nothing to do with getting rid of criminals. It had more to do. It basically just messed up a load
Yeah,
of
it's to
legitimate
do with
people's
race.
lives.
It's to do with racism, white
I know it
supremacy,
is, of course
control.
it is, but
Same thing now. But I'm saying,
well,
so now that guy's talking nonsense about immigration and talking about how they're treated better than it's just the same thing. It's just a new way of doing it, and it's bullshit. They're not treated
even
better than anyone. Yeah, and I didn't finish saying, but there's a couple of other points. You were talking about they get given phones and they get given. No, they don't. There are charities that people suggest to them that you can get phones from. You could go and
yeah,
get a phone from one of them charities if
yeah.
you applied for it.
In all fairness, I do know of like in Devon, I do know of some charities that give phones to the homeless people there.
That's it. That is the same thing. So those
Yeah,
homeless people are getting phones
yeah,
from the same charities that are giving them to asylum seekers. But these stupid people are not really realizing that they're just selling this narrative in the newspaper to frame it against one group to make you hate them. Yeah. The other day, bro, I can't believe every newspaper. I saw GB News share this thing, and then I saw like the Independent. All these articles shared this story. Yeah, saying that this black guy who had there's a picture of a black guy, police officer. He's gone to prison for crazy R charges, yeah,
oh, I saw that. Yeah,
and he done it again a second time after, blah blah
yeah,
blah, yeah. And the headline read, you know, police officer who commits R charge was hired without safety checks due to a diversity program. And this thing was shared in every newspaper, yeah, not just right wing ones.
mm,
All you had to do is click on the article. I clicked on it. I said, let me even look at what this story is. There was no diversity thing in the entire story. The whole study was based on how the police are vetted and how many police get through with convictions that weren't because they were not vetted properly. Yeah. The majority of the people they spoke about in that list were white British English people. The second person who they spoke about individually, he was listed as the most prolific sex offender in the country. And
yeah, yeah,
it had his picture, and it's a white guy, and it spoke about him not being vetted. It was nothing to do with a diversity thing. They just chose not to make him the cover of the article or the focus of the headline. This is what I'm saying. These things are going on like crazy, and
yeah,
people are just brainwashed by a headline that's designed. And so it's the same thing with what you just said with the free phones. Yes, charities are giving, the government are not giving free phones to asylum seekers. Some charities are available. And when they come here, there are people who approach them and say, look, this is available to you to help. This charity, that. But homeless people get the same thing. Homeless English, white people get that offer to them too. So all this idea of bro, it's bullshit. Yeah. And some of them people, they're not, when they're in that thing from the Home Office, yeah, it's controlled by the Home Office. They have to stay there until they are going through an application for asylum. If they get approved for application of asylum, then they get allowed to stay in the
yeah.
country.
I
Then they get
understand.
kicked out of the hotel, and then they have to go to the housing office and start from the beginning with everyone else.
Yeah.
And then it's difficult. They may get prioritized in that part of the process because their actual circumstances are different. They are in a desperate need. They are fleeing from a certain situation. Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's their circumstances. Their circumstances might be more desperate than yours. It's based on circumstance. It's not based on anything else.
yeah.
No.
Fair enough, man.
Anyway, let's wrap it up. We're
Yeah,
we're
man.
into
All
a
right,
whole other thing,
it's
but
been
yeah,
a big show still, man. I'm gonna
keep it
I'm gonna
up.
I'm gonna have fun chopping this one up as well. Believe me.
Make some mad headlines and that,
Oh, trust
some
me.
mad titles. Work out. I'm gonna show you how to add me as a collaborator.
Yeah.
We'll
All
work,
right. Then,
we'll
cool,
work that
cool,
out,
cool.
yeah. When you
All
make
right.
the posts or whatever, when you post the clips on
Yeah.
YouTube, but we'll work that out.
Yeah. All right. Blessed for that. Blessed for
Awesome.
this anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, man.